Bang! Neevesknives. I'm Jared, and today we have an awesome guest, Tri-State EDC. Let's bring him on in. What is up, bud?
What's going on, gang?
I'm sure.
It's good to be here. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for coming, man. I was really excited to have you on. The other day, I had a really good time with you on Lefty EDC's live. We had a really good time, and I could tell right away that we would, we just hit it right off. How's everybody in the chat?
Yeah, what's going on in the chat? 12 in here?
Yeah, they'll be
Sinister Knife Clips is struggling with his blood pressure, apparently. Sorry to hear that.
That sucks.
Sounds like my life. Rent, blood pressure, knives. Yeah, that's like all my problems.
Anxiety,
that's all my stresses right there. Yeah. Depression.
What the hell was I just about to say? Oh yeah, why don't you really quick, while people are starting to roll in here, tell people where to find you and everything. I've been I've been going through your whole entire channel today.
My library.
Oh yeah.
Every video is about 8 hours, so that's a lot of man hours that you're watching there today, man. Yeah, no, I'm on here, just Tri-State_EDC on YouTube, and same for Instagram, Tri-State_EDC. And that's it for now. That's it for now. Keep it clean across the board. NAF Sergeant, what's up, man?
Didn't you say you were on TikTok too?
I'm on TikTok, yeah. Same. Tri-State_EDC.
That's so smart to just do it the same across the board.
Yep. That way if people stumble upon one of them, they know it's the same guy. Same logo, same, yeah.
Well, I've noticed some people have it different from one to the other.
Yeah. And that's just bad marketing. That's bad
marketing. Yeah. I talked to him on one thing, and then on the other, it's like, I didn't even know that was you.
Yeah. I thought it was another guy.
How was
real nice. It's a super nice guy. Reminded me of you.
All right, Mike. He's baked. He's gotta go. That was quick.
Yeah, in and out. Real fast. Old Imler just comes in and out, man.
Dennis, thank you, man. I appreciate that. We did
18.1. Your growth the past month has been outrageous. Yeah. Outrageous.
It's starting
mind-blowing to me.
It's starting to slow down a little bit. Just a little bit. We were
don't say that. Don't say that.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm taking it back right now. But 5.3K is what we were at. Then now we're at 5.1 every 28 days. That's how many followers we're getting, which is a crazy price. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy about that. I'll take 4.7. That's fine. But
I'll take 4.7. That's fine. I can live with that.
Yeah, but I know it's a wave. I know it's going to go back down. However, though, whoever's going to be watching this now and later, if you're not following the channel, I would appreciate you. Following the channel, checking out some of the videos, and I appreciate everybody right now. I just want to say right now, I appreciate everybody who is using my links, who's become a Patreon, who supports through donation, who supports through using my sharpening service. You guys are amazing. You guys keep this channel alive. I can't thank you enough. Mike, you're not in here. You're just playing.
Mike, you're high. This is all a dream. This isn't real.
Right. It's not even real.
None of this is real.
Telica, hi everyone. Hope you're having a good weekend. Thank you. I'm definitely having a pretty good weekend. I got my energy drink ready for this live. We're just
Sinister. That is absurd.
In here.
It is absurd, and it is very much worth a congratulations. It's outrageous. That kind of ride that wave, baby. Ride it. That's all I gotta say. Jesus.
Thank you, Telica. I know you do, and I appreciate it, and I can tell. Obviously, through my analytics, I can tell people using my my links. Thank you guys so much because you guys have been using it a lot. And I got a video coming for you guys. It's going to be a few weeks, but I did get the products in. But I will have a discount code for you guys for Andar for all their leather goods and everything. And it'll benefit the channel.
I love their stuff.
Dude, I've been using.
I really do like their stuff.
Me too. I've been using their wallet for over a year. Look at this thing. You can
the
tell
little quick draw. Yeah, dude. That's like an ADHD brain's best friend.
I love it. Yep. Now I got a brand new one. I just got it, but we got some extra stuff too, like a bag and some other stuff. So we're gonna be testing this out over the next. I figure I'll wait like 6 weeks to upload it and just show it like after 6 weeks. because this one's
You already know it works. Yeah, you already know the product works, right?
for sure. Dude, I've had like 4 or 5 wallets, and this is the one I picked out of all of them. So that says a lot, right? I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
that says
it's
it right
hard.
there.
It's hard of all the things to find a good version of something. I feel like wallets are one of the hardest things.
Well, I'm picky too.
Same.
So,
Same.
you know,
We're fucking knife YouTubers. Of course, we're picky. Jesus Christ.
right, exactly. What kind of wallets do you like?
So I had the little kind of quick draw push button deal for the longest time, and I just switched back to a traditional like leather trifold, and I
Yep.
fucking hate it. And I
You
want to go
hate your
back
new
to.
one. You hate your new one.
I hate the new. It's the big. It's the old fat
Oh,
thick
fuck
fucker.
that.
I don't have it on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it would be. I thought I could keep it trimmed down, but you literally add 3 cards to like a traditional wallet, and it's
Yeah.
8 inches thick. It turns into the Holy Bible after
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 credit cards. And you're just like, what? I don't know what kind of witchcraft is involved, but it's bullshit.
Right.
So I'm going to go back to my little card. It's like a little
Yep.
carbon fiber quick draw card deal. Love
Well,
that thing.
I like leather. I'll just say that right now, but I like
Same,
the minimalist
same.
leather. I want the thinnest I can get, and that's why this
Yep.
thing's so awesome. And I got the drawstring where I can just pull all my
Yep.
cards out really quick.
I always feel like James Bond too when I'm walking up and whip the fucking cards out
Exactly.
at the fucking gas station in the hood.
Dude, I wish I could figure out. This guy sent me this wallet. I know it's made in the USA. He hand makes them, and it's a kid too. He's like 17. This one right here, and it's such a minimalist, easy, simple wallet. It's really nice. He sent 2 of them. I cannot figure out where to find them no more. Like at one point, I was talking to him on Instagram, but you know how it goes. Like it just gets buried.
you know,
I cannot find
Hank. My favorite Hanks guy, the only Hanks guy I use, fucking rebranded and didn't tell anybody. Changed his Instagram name, changed his logo.
Yeah.
I couldn't find him on my messages.
Yeah.
And finally I stumbled upon him like months later. And I was like, what the fuck? Why you didn't tell anybody? You didn't tell me we were going to change your name.
Right.
Because I've been tagging your shit like every time I post a picture.
Exactly. And see, now that's why I don't want to do a video on it because I can't
You have nowhere
tag
to send people, right? Yeah, he
Right.
did the BioShock Hank that I fucking love.
Yo, that's
I
awesome.
love that. I love the game. It's a great game.
Oh,
Seriously.
Badass Hanks. That's a guy, man. He makes they're a little expensive.
There's
but
so much
worth
talent in the Hank world. It's
Yeah.
mind blowing to me.
Yeah, they have even like microfiber on there, plus a little bit of leather.
Yeah.
Like he mixes it up, and it's so nice.
Yeah, I was
Those
never
are
a
like the
Hanks
best
guy.
Hanks.
I was never a Hanks guy. And then I saw a picture of the BioShock Hank, and I was like, all right, I'm a Hanks guy. I'm a Hanks guy.
Well, I'm in.
I'm it. Sign me up. Sign me up.
I didn't realize the levels of
The
quality
detail.
and
Like, I don't. Where do you even? How do you do this? How do you do this? I don't
Right.
get it. It's
Some
like
of
a work of art.
Yeah, more like the Badass Hanks, and even some of the other ones. I'm not just saying just because I got all kinds of Hanks, some very, very nice ones. So some of these companies, man, they'll put one type of fabric on one side, another one on the other side.
Microfiber on the back is the best.
Yeah, and so you'll have like where, like say for like glass or lenses or your actual glasses, things like that. That's what that's for, right? Then you have maybe a little bit of a rougher side for maybe your knives or something.
Right.
But yeah, very, very nice. So they definitely got it down pat. And then they got so many badass designs. It's insane.
Yeah. It makes your head spin. Makes your head spin. Oh, I got something, 2 new somethings on your recommendation, and it was this little fucking beauty right here, man. The Gritomatic for the 4-inch stones.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, it's a fucking game changer. It's a game changer. It's amazing. I bought 4 of them because I didn't want to switch stones.
No shit.
Yeah, dude. Because I have the Neeves stones. Like
Yeah.
this is an 802. I think it's a 240 800, and then I have like the little ruby stone that you like so much off of Amazon. The little cutie.
Well, that's the thing is you can
anything that's
basically
4
get
inches
any
long.
stone, any stone.
Anything.
And so many companies make, even if you go like to Gritomatic and they're out, wait a month, they'll be back.
And their
in stock.
pricing on the Neeves stones is crazy. These are like $35 for the dual-sided ones. That's a fucking great price.
That's such a great
for a good
price.
diamond
You gotta
stone.
consider my bench stones are $180.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, the Neeves stones in general are not cheap.
Well,
Not cheap.
Right. And then when you get them that small though, like that's a killer deal.
Mm-hmm. And it's so nice having a fat stone on the work sharp. It's such a game changer. Everybody fucking needs one of these if you have a work sharp.
Yes. And that's
It's a
why I said,
lifesaver.
like, people
Yeah,
were
here's another one.
asking me, after my one video, which one's better, their upgrade or the attachment? And it's like, well, there's a reason at the end of my video that I was saying that I don't know why they didn't make that part of their list. Like when they did the upgrade, they
have like multiple options. They make these for 6-inch stones now and all kinds of shit.
Yeah. Well, actually, I actually got a guy who's he's making aftermarket parts for it, and I'm actually going to recommend you. I got a video coming, and I got all kinds of attachments. I even got one that literally clamps it down. It's a plastic
for the workshop.
For the workshop, it'll clamp it right, and it's just a attachment. You go right to a table, slip it in,
slap it on,
and it makes it where it doesn't move at all. Like it's literally stiff.
Yeah, that's my only downside for that thing is having to hold it with one hand. I want to kind of focus on the knife and on the stone, right?
You will not have to anymore. He's even got attachments for scissors.
I use a C clamp now, right?
And that's what I'm saying. You know what? I'm just gonna grab it really quick and show you guys.
This is what I fucking use. This is what I use to clamp my shit down. What do you think about that? We don't half-ass things here at the offices of Tri-State EDC Enterprises.
Sorry about that. Right here. Look at this thing.
Holy shit. This is mine. This is my big fucker, my big C clamp.
So this just slips right to a table. Like
you
this,
screw
like
it on.
The table will go just
is
like
that 3D printed, it looks like?
Yeah, but it's good though. I've been using the hell out of it.
Yeah, no, these are 3D printed and these are great.
You can't flex it or anything. I mean, it's thick. But there's way more attachments. Like that's just one. I have probably, I don't know.
Richie B's in the house. What's up, man?
So what I'm saying is that when I do this video, check it out.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
There's going to be a few attachments that you're most likely going to want to get.
Yeah. Richie B picked this up for me up at Blade Show West, the new Roxy 3. Thank you, Richie B.
Fire.
Love you, man. Muchos. Oh, it's so good.
Shout out to Richie B. And Lindy Lou,
Lindy, give them all the fucking love. Follow them everywhere.
Yes, there is their links right there. Definitely go and check them out for your knife mod services. Not to buy you Roxy's.
Not to don't reach out to him for that. It was a one-time thing. It was a one-time deal.
How do you like it?
Oh, so I've always wanted a Roxy 4, but I didn't discover the Roxy 4 until after they discontinued them. So I was like on eBay and shit, and people wanted $500 for a Roxy 4, and I'm like, no, pass. And then the Roxy felt like it was going to be too small.
Okay.
The tiny 2.5-inch deal, but this is like 3.5-inch blade.
Hold that up to the
handle.
Screen really quick. Hold it up to the screen. I'm gonna
hold on. Let's see if I can zoom it. There it is.
Yeah.
This is Todd Knife and Tool, man. I love their stuff. Ooh, yeah. And this has the that flame ammo on it with the brass hardware. I'm not sure the blade steel. I want to say 20 CV.
I think so.
But I'm not sure. But it's a front flipper, and man, that detent is dialed.
That is sharp. It's really sharp.
Good. I love it. But this is the third version of this knife, and I've always wanted a Roxy, and I love Todd Knife and Tool. And my malware got stolen recently, so I needed a new. Well, I sent it to the knife modders to get modded, and I made the mistake of putting my Instagram handle on the bottom.
I already know what you're gonna say. Yep. Somebody warned me against that because I put Neevesknives on one of them. Somebody said, "Do not do that. Put your name because they'll know it's a company or something."
They'll open that bitch up, which is what they did. Somebody in the postal service opened it up and then took my knives out. I had my wee malice was in it too. That got stolen. Heartbroken. I'll never get it. I know, dude. That was my favorite Wii ever, and it's gone. This is a close second. I got to be honest. But that and the malware were stolen, and then they replaced it with a bunch of essential oils, and then sent them on. So Lindy and Richie got a box of essential oils.
I agree, Bass. I agree. That was a great video about the knife community.
It was a hard few weeks. It's a very emotional time in my life.
Yeah. I just got a box. It originally came from Blade HQ, but they put it in a bag, shipped it. The box came, like when I pulled it out, it's like just smashed. And like when I'm trying to open it, everything is just falling apart. I can't wait to do. I'm gonna do a first impressions on it.
That'd be a hell of an unboxing.
Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah, brother. The times have aligned, and I get to watch live while in England. Nice.
Hey,
bad
Zimbabwe.
Nice to have Zimbabwe.
Cold. What time is it over there? I wonder.
I have a clue. Cole's the man, even
Mini
though
Holmes.
he is the Mini Holmes man. He is still the man. Nice, nice. You go, girls. Well, you go, dum-dums. Tri-State also enjoyed your, I think it's the same, your touching video and
Jason,
your
thank you.
70s, early 80s story porn.
Storyline porn, yeah. It's a running joke on the Lefty channel that I, in a previous life before I reviewed Knives, I was a producer of gay pornography. That's why they have the mustache, you know, and all that stuff.
Well, why would it have to be gay, though?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I made the gay part up just because I thought it was funnier.
Okay.
Yeah, but
all right.
it stuck. You know, God help me, it stuck. So.
Well, because I was gonna say, yeah, you definitely look like a porn producer or porn star. I wouldn't have went that way.
Don't just look at her ass, eat it. Yeah.
So, knife pet peeves.
Ooh.
What is something that like just drives like if you get a knife, because everybody has like those of course, right? Of course, like, nobody wants fucking lock rock and shit. But what are some things like this? Just like I hate this on knives, I don't like it, and it could be something everybody else loves, something that you dislike.
So two things. Are we talking like fresh out of the box, or are we talking?
Yeah, just period. Like it
just
can be long term, whatever.
Okay. Well, fresh out of the box, it's got to be a bad factory edge. Like if I pull a knife out of the box and it doesn't, and I can't cut just like a normal piece of office paper with it,
right?
I will not make a video about it. Like that is enough for me to return it. Even though I have the skills to sharpen it and all that shit, it's such a big like. You make knives. That is your job. You're a manufacturing company that makes knives. It should cut something. You
question the heat treat too.
And yes, and then I'm like, well, if I start sharpening it, then it's fucked up. And then, you know, I've done something to it. Will I be able to return it afterwards? I won't be able to sell it for as much. So it's like,
I've had that happen. That's why I said that, because I've had that
very rarely. But when it happens, it's the Wii Fornix was the example. The Wii Fornix, dude, limited edition, $200 knife. Took it out of the box. It cut a piece of paper once, and then the second piece of paper, it didn't cut it. And I was like,
oh shit.
So basically, what was cutting the first piece of paper was just the burr, and then the first piece of paper knocked it off, and what was underneath it was dog shit. I don't know.
Well, I actually watched your video on it. I watched your video on it. I was going to ask you actually a couple questions on it, about, because you were saying that, you know, like that you liked the knife, it had great action, it had great this,
great action, looks great, really good,
but you were saying that you weren't happy about the geometry. Really?
Yes.
Like, it just wasn't a great cutter. Was that because of the edge, or was it because of the geometry?
Yeah, and the factory edge was so shallow, and it's very thick behind the edge. So I think it was a combination. So I had to reprofile it to like 17 degrees to get it to cut. And for a brand new $200 knife, I shouldn't have to do that.
No.
At 20 CV, and coming from Wii, like this thing, the Roxy, right out of the box, this thing's a fucking laser beam. Right. And it's a monster. It's huge blade stock.
Yeah.
So
9 times out of 10, they do a good job with their edges.
Oh, and I've never had a complaint. The Malice was a fucking laser beam. I've never had a complaint with the Wii. But for whatever reason, that Fornix, man, it rubbed me the wrong way just on that edge. And then the other thing is bearing grit, just in general. That even if the action is like buttery smooth, if I hear that when I'm opening and closing a knife, oh, I want to fucking scream. Makes me want to pull my fucking hair out.
Yeah.
I have it. Another knife I really like, the Kubi fucking Vanguard.
Yeah.
That I've learned to like. I didn't like it at first, but it squeaks and grinds on the close. And
that's so weird. I have 2 of them and they're perfect.
Yeah, dude. And I tried to take this apart today to like really clean it. It snapped my T6 bit in half. You won't.
What?
Yeah, dude. The T6 screws on the spine.
For what? The clip?
Yeah, no, these guys back here. These boys. The body screws.
God, are they T6s?
Yeah, they're T6s. They're little tiny little fuckers.
Is that the older one or the newer one?
I don't know. I think this was like the first run of them.
Maybe that's why, because I think they're T8s now. I'm not positive. I got mine put away, but let me just say this though. I took it apart in the past week. 3 Kubis that all came apart like butter, like perfect.
Yeah, look at my fucking T6. It's fucked
at all. You know, I believe you. I mean, I'm not doubting it one bit. So
it snapped that fucker in half. I couldn't believe it.
Speaking of T6s,
it's a great knife. Overall, action's great, but it just makes squeaky, grindy, icky noises, and it bothers me. And I can't.
I was really upset because I got I got this real steel G frame. It's a White Mountain
Oh, that's a
exclusive.
good looking knife too. Damn.
It is
I
such
love
a
real
good
steel.
looking
We were
knife.
talking about that on the last live, man. My
I
Metamorph,
know.
I fucking love it.
And you know what's crazy is the other one, I think the G slip or whatever, has T8s. This is the
Yeah.
upgraded model, and it has all T6s, even the pivot.
What?
Even the pivot. Does that
What?
make any
Why?
fucking sense? It makes
Why?
no sense. I can't fathom why. And it's a double-sided pivot, but it's like,
Yeah.
why?
So you need two little dinky
I
T6s.
think
You're
the one
asking
is
for trouble,
trapped,
man.
but I'm not positive yet. I got to take it apart because it
Mm.
came with some issues, like a bunch of them. Like it has lock rock. It's not centered. The action's good, but somebody told me that theirs was better. But it's not bad. The action's not bad. But I figure after
I can hear it. I can hear the detent's a little mushy.
well, after I think after I mess with it, I imagine the action's even gonna get better because something's going on where it's not centered even a little bit. Like it's pushed all the way over to the side. So I'm thinking that the scale might be on like this or something.
Yeah.
And once I get it off, I'm hoping because like I said, it has bad lock rock. Like if I went like this right now, I could totally fail it. Like,
Yeah,
all
you
the
know
way.
what? Another one that bad lock rock too. I almost never experience it, but the Rayot Bushido, which I love, they don't make it anymore.
Uh-huh.
The front flipper they did, it's
Yeah,
such a great knife.
Pause on.
They did,
Pull it up to the screen.
yeah, hold on. They didn't make it very long. There it is. But it's a front flipper, and it's that little Bushido style with the Quaken M390.
Is this the same knife? No,
No. This has like that upswept tip.
Yeah, look at this one right
Quaken
here.
style. Oh yeah, okay. It's very similar.
Very
Very
similar.
similar.
I think this one's the Warrior, I think, or something.
But this is Rayot, man, and I played with it a lot, but it's not bad, but it's just enough to bother me. It just
you know what this one has?
just millimeter in either direction is enough to bother me.
This one has it's a Riet and it's a Liang Ma design. When you unlock it and you go like this, now right here it has
that's a big one for me too.
It has no, but
it turns out I have a lot of pet peeves, I guess, when it comes to knives.
I'm gonna try to get a new pivot bushing for that and see if Liang Ma will send me a new one.
Yeah, that always bothers me, I guess, especially with like really high-end frame locks. Like anything over $200, you get that kind of halfway closed and you hear it rattling around and you're like, come on. Right.
Yeah, it's definitely something in the pivot though, where it's just too big of a pivot for the.
That's a Liang Ma. What model is that?
I think it's the Warrior. I think, or
that's
something like that.
Too. Like, is that big? That's like a big fucker.
It's not really that big, but it's thick. It's definitely thick. I gotta sharpen it, and I'm gonna sharpen it and try to fix that issue.
Yeah, that's really similar lines, man.
But yeah, it could definitely
very
have
similar lines.
S35, so it's definitely an older one.
Yeah, this is M390, and I think this is a titanium liner lock, and I think that's where like 99% of the issues come from. Yeah, titanium liner locks always seem I feel like you're asking for trouble.
There's some that are done extremely well. Like, to be honest,
right?
Tucson does a really good job with their titanium liner locks. I know. I just heard Richie, which is so crazy to me. He said that like 80% of all the Tucsons he's had or bought came from the factory had poor edges. Man,
yeah.
90% of all the ones I've gotten, they were decent factory edges. I've had a couple. Don't get me wrong. I've had some. But
my only Tucson is this little slippy, little double detent slip joint boy. I don't even know what it is. TS2 fucking, I don't know. M390, little hollow ground or flat ground warning. And it's a razor blade. Yeah. It's very scary. Somebody like me, I don't pay attention to what I'm doing very often because it's non-locking. Kind of hard to sharpen. Yeah, kind of hard to sharpen because you push up again, especially on a stick, on like a ceramic stick.
Yep.
Might fold up on you. But it's a cool little knife. I carry it all the time when I'm doing very dainty work. This is my delicate, dainty work knife.
I noticed this real steel. I went back on White Mountain's site.
How much are those?
$109. But get this.
What? It's not bad at all.
It's not bad at all. It's a really, really good price. That's why I got it. And also, man, it looks good. It's a good looking knife.
It is. It is a really good looking knife.
I haven't returned it. And I said this in my little first impressions I just did on it. I said, if this was anybody else, return it. All right.
Yeah.
Don't do what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to try to fix it because I'm an idiot. Yeah. Right.
I'm a fucking
me too.
Idiot.
Me too.
I'm stubborn as hell. Do not do what I'm doing. Hey, I'm gonna make a video out of this thing.
Right.
But
I need the content.
right, I ain't got time. I can't afford a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah,
But
for a new one.
somebody else already returned one because on their site they got a returned one. So I'm just warning everybody right now. Most likely it's the same issues I have. Also, somebody in my comments told me that theirs had the same exact issues as mine, but they still love it. They said that. They said they still love it. Now, Timbo has one. He says he has none of the issues. He says his is great. So it's a shot, buyer beware. However, I will say this. I still really like it. I do really like it. It's not a hard use knife. So the Lock Rock, I have to
lines, really simple knife. I really like the looks of it.
It's snappy. It's so easy to carry. It's, what it kind of reminds me of? Just a flipper version. It kind of reminds me in a small way as like the quiet carry Waypoint.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just a simple knife.
To this. So yeah, this is the tactile turn, the Rockwall.
Yeah.
Love this thing. Amazing. XHP, we were talking about that.
I tried to message them. Didn't work out.
Yep. I got lucky. I actually bought this, but then after the review, they're sending me one of their new kitchen knives, and I think they're going to send me a thumb stud version of this.
Happy birthday to my cousin Breeze.
Hey, happy birthday. How old are you? 90? 95?
Yeah, 95.
95?
I'm not going to get that stuff out till Monday, so you will have a package coming on Monday. I meant to get it out on Friday, but shit happens.
So what's the name of that knife again? That Real Steel? I'm sorry to keep.
The G frame, but you'll have a hard time finding it if you don't put White Mountain exclusive. Because it's only from White Mountain Knives.
There it is. Yeah. So 110, S35. I mean, it is a really good looking knife. I see the return one on here.
Yeah. It's a nice one though. It's
light, really lightweight, 2.6 ounces. Damn,
very light. There's a lot of great things about it, and that's another reason why I don't want to return it, because I like it. I do like it a lot, and that does say a lot, because if I
good blade and everything, solid. The
geometry is amazing. Yeah. It's like I think it's 100 thousandths thick, the blade stock. I haven't measured behind the edge, but I can feel it's thin. The choil's done good. There's a lot of good attributes to it, and it cuts great. So what's your
real steel I've ever handled has been just a laser beam.
What is your style of knife? Like, I know you probably like a lot of different styles. I think
a
lot of knife guys do, but if you were just gonna say like this knife speaks to me,
if it has a warning, if it's a Warncliffe blade, it's on my wish list. Pretty much. I think I have more warnings than anything else. Also, if I had to whittle down my style of knife to one knife, it's the Arc Forearm Slimfoot.
Okay.
I just fucking love this knife. This is the Rayot flipper.
Yeah.
I just love it so much. It's heavy and overbuilt, but it's beautiful. It's so simple and clean and beautiful. But I also like fucking outrageous shit like this. Like you know what I mean? Like I have.
Sorry. I was just gonna say, when I seen that arc form for the first time, it drew me in so fast,
dude. Like a moth to flame. I could not get my wallet out fast enough. I have the auto version of it too somewhere.
I don't have one, and I don't know why I wound up not getting it. But when I seen it though, the handle. I remember why I didn't get it now. But the handle is just so neutral, so straightforward.
Yeah,
the blade. It's such a good looking knife.
It is so pretty.
Get it. So I heard from and this might not happen to me, so I don't want anybody else to think that, because I'll ask you right now, but a couple reviews I watched on it said that it felt awkward in the hand. They felt like they were too far away from the blade, and then the other one, like both of them said the exact same thing. So I said, ooh, I wonder if I shouldn't get it, because they're saying it's awkward in the hand, so it'll probably happen to me too. But like I said, I don't know. I haven't tried one.
I get that. Your fingers back here, and you end up kind of stretching your thumb out, and it feels like you're pushing your hand away from the blade when you lock it in.
Yeah.
Right. So I get how that feels. It kind of stresses the top of your hand right here. I get how that feels awkward, but in cutting, in use, I've never had an issue with it. And I think the blade shape. Hey-oh, ding, ding, ding.
Thank you for the donation. Damn, always showing up late.
I have a big ass bell in the basement.
Do you?
And I was gonna dig it out for this, but I fucking forgot. It's buried as shit.
Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate it.
Long John Silver's bell is what I have.
Who's the 2 dislikes? We'll
Yeah,
take
get him,
those.
Mr. 2%. I'm a 2% man myself. 2% milk, that is.
That's exactly
Cheers.
what I think of every time. I swear to God, every time I read his name, all I can see is blue top. Right? You know,
Yep, that
there's
blue
red top
cap,
and
baby.
blue
I'm a
top.
blue cap
Yep.
boy. I'm a blue
Yep.
cap boy. Yep.
So Warncliffe's, check this out. I was using this today. I forget the number already, so excuse me, but it's a 2-son. But this blade, it's like
I've
a
seen that.
Warncliffe, except for it has a little tiny bit of
Like,
recurve. Just
yeah, right
tip.
at the end. Yeah.
Perfectly
Like a little
straight.
hawk bill action on the end. I like that. I dig it.
This, and listen, anybody who looks at it and says, "Oh, that's too crazy," one sharpening, you can take that out. Like literally, sharpen it like a Warncliffe. It'll be a regular Warncliffe. But dude, I was using it, and this little front part makes it so it's like when you're cutting down cardboard, it traps it right there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know,
I love a
normally you
good little bit of recurve for that.
Well, it's almost like you normally, like if it was a different blade shape, you would slip out after a certain length. This stays in there and makes it to where you can make a very long cut, and at the end, just like whoop, chop it off.
Pop it out.
It works so good. It's such a good blade shape.
It's wonky looking, but I absolutely see how that would fucking be insanely useful.
Well, and obviously opening things up, it's like a claw. Just
right open. Yep.
But yeah, I'm surprised how good it is, because some Warncliffes, you know, some are really good, some are not that good at doing regular slicing. You know, for push cuts they're fine, but for actual slicing, but this one, because of that recurve, it kind of just hooks right around the cardboard.
I dig it. I dig it.
It's really nice.
Yeah, that's why I like stuff like the Prolix kind of has a tiny bit of belly on it, just a tiniest little bit. It's not like a perfect warnie. That's really good for like a slicing
that one
action.
Goes up, this one goes down.
Yeah. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, it goes
pretty
downward.
wild.
Yeah, it is pretty wild. And
what's the Blade Steel M390 probably?
I think this is 14C. 14C. I
love 14C.
Yeah.
Of all of the budget steels, 14C all day. All day.
I like that we can get it for a good price too.
Yeah.
Because it's a solid all-around steel.
I love it. It takes an insane fucking edge. It takes a mirror polish really well. I love it. It's one of my favorite steels to sharpen. Yeah. It takes it. Yeah. That's why I love my fucking Metamorph so much. This blade has been through hell and back.
Nasty.
That 14C, never gives up. She never gives up.
Another thing, I think we were talking about this on Lefties. Maybe not. I don't remember. But it's easy to maintain. That's another thing. Like you can get it like not all the way dull, but relatively dull. Strop it.
That's all you need. Right there. Worst case scenario. That's all you need.
Right. You can hone it or strop it right back up, and it just comes right back nice and keen. And in that regard, or in that sense, like you don't look at it just as, like say, and I'm not saying it'd be the same across the board, but like when you watch some of the cut test videos and they say, oh, well, this can cut, say, 200 feet of cardboard. Well, when you put into consideration that you can strop it and get another 100 feet just by going really quick.
Yep. On your fucking on your boot, for Christ's sake. Yeah.
On the palm of your damn hand.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, the shaman. Eric O's got the shaman. I love the shaman, but I never carry it anymore. I don't know why.
We got a question here for you.
Why do I use the voice changer? Well, I blame Nick Shabazz. He's got that fake voice that he uses. That's not his real voice. He just does it. He just does it manually. Well, I use technology for my fake voice. That's it. And I just a little bit of depth in your voice adds so much interest to especially the style of videos I do. Kind of that documentary style. No. Here. I'll give you my real
voice for a second.
Oh God, that's not it.
Whoa!
That's not. There it is. This is my normal voice. This is normal. This is regular me every day. Why is my phone ringing? Getting a phone call, boys. Okay, that's my real voice.
We're going back down. Not that low. Holy crap. There it is. Right there. That's where I like it.
I was gonna tell you later on, but now I guess I'll take it back that you have a perfect radio voice. But now I'm taking it back.
Yeah. It's all a lie. It's all a charade.
It sounds great.
It works well. I use it at work when I'm doing Zoom calls. I discovered this like in the middle of the pandemic when I was working from home and I had to do Zoom calls a lot. I wanted to fuck with everybody, so I just would like do like I would just, you know, and they would,
crazy
and
call.
I would be like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. And then I would just leave the Zoom call. So
This
that's-
is what happens.
this is what happens. And this is the birth of an icon, ladies and gentlemen.
Get used to it. No, that's
It makes you wonder, like, how many voices that you hear on the radio are like use this.
Yeah. Well, also
They could all be
because when you hear
squeaky
them on
old
the
fucks.
street-
You never know.
when you hear them on the street, you wouldn't recognize it either because
Oh
it's not.
no. Yep.
But yeah, it's definitely capturing because I remember the first time when I heard you, I couldn't stop listening. You got one of those voices that captures your attention.
Yep.
Well,
And
this voice.
Yes. Well, you know, I like to think it's my writing and my way of speaking in general, but you know, whatever. The voice changer helps. Oh, that was
well,
Monster Racing
like that
calling me
here.
just now. What's going on, Monster Racing? Okay. Strange.
Well, what is your goal with your channel? Do you have a goal with your channel? Or are you just having fun?
Well, when I started it, it was like I got time to kill, and I have a shitload of knives laying around, and I'm really good with a camera, and I'm good at writing, so why not? And I, for the longest time, I'd been posting unboxings on Reddit for like since into 2019, middle of 2019, probably, for a long time. And then I started up the Instagram, started posting them there, and everyone was like, "You should, dude, if you had a YouTube channel, I would subscribe to that. If you had a YouTube channel just for my unboxings." So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll do a YouTube channel. And now here we are, fucking 7-8 months later with 1,000, 1,300 subs. Who would have guessed it? It's crazy.
Are you trying to take it seriously now, or
yeah, I'm still kind of tying down the schedule because I work full time, 40, 50 hours a week, and then do this, and we're renovating the house on top of all this pretty much every weekend. So it's hard to put out as much as you guys do, like you especially.
I treat it like a job for sure.
Yeah, but for me to, in order for me to treat it like a job, like it's already an extra 30 hours of work a week just to put out what I'm putting out. Just to put out put out 1 or 2 reviews a week. It's 30 hours of work.
Yep.
So I'm just trying to kind of tie it down where I have a good catalog built up so I can do at least every other day. That's my goal in the short term, is to upload every other day. And long term is to get it where, I was talking to Ray about this on his podcast, was I really want to do eventually a long form, like documentary style history of knife companies.
Nice.
I think the style works. The style I use works really well for that kind of thing. Maybe like a 15-20 minute video, like on ProTech or Spyderco, like the history of it and where their designs came from and their top designers, or the history of designers and how they got started and stuff like that.
Mean tweets. Who's gotten pissed off? No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, who fucked up who? Like, what's going on, dude? Where's the beef at? That I really want to do something like that down the line. I think it'd be cool. Interview people.
That sounds awesome. That does sound awesome.
But yeah, the goal is to hit 10,000, man. That's the goal, is to really take it seriously. Make a few bucks and be able to put out better giveaways than I'm able to right now. That's the next leap. Yeah, because I only have 2 knives to give away right now, and I feel really bad about it.
Well, you know I don't think, to be honest, people like the giveaways, but I don't think people like, okay, and this is where I got this from, and I still do giveaways. I do giveaways on Patreon, and you know, sometimes on the channel.
I did start a Patreon, everybody, by the way.
Mostly on Patreon, because I realized how much people don't give a shit about the giveaways.
Yeah,
they really don't, because a lot of people look at it as like, I don't have a chance in hell when I'm facing 300 other people. I have a chance. Now, don't get me wrong.
I've won like 2 back-to-back. I won Slicey Diceys. I won Monster Racings, which I just won a 3rd one. I've been getting lucky lately.
I've won 3 in total, and one of them I didn't enter. Somebody else entered me, so I don't know if that counts or not. But I've won 2 in a few years. Now, wait. But a raffle too. I won a raffle, so that's a paying one. But no, and I'm not saying that people don't enjoy it. That's why I like to do it for the Patreons, because it gives them an incentive and it's fun for them, and it narrows it down to less people and everything else. And I can, because I get so much stuff, it gives me an opportunity to give back to people that I know for sure.
I'm not getting a lot of free stuff right now. That's the other big thing. I'm working on it.
But you'll find out a lot of people, though, they'll see giveaway and they'll jump on it, and they don't support you at all. They don't even know who you are. Like,
oh yeah.
I know for sure people won my giveaways before that never watched my videos.
And I would much rather, I wish there was a way. I guess Patreon's the best way to kind of weed it out. I would much rather the people that support it,
the join button,
get a better chance. Yeah.
I still got to set that up.
I'm waiting on getting monetized, so I'm like 800 watch hours away.
Okay.
I need the watch hours, yeah.
Okay, definitely. Yeah, 4,000.
Yep. I'm at like 3,200. So if everyone could just, when you fall asleep tonight, just put on a playlist and let it run muted, that'd be great. If 10 of you did that.
Get over there, ladies and gentlemen, sub to his channel and watch some of his videos tonight.
You won't be
let
disappointed.
Let them roll.
Let them roll.
For sure. Yeah, because
fall asleep to the soothing tones of my sweet voice.
Yeah. Things do change a little bit when you do get monetized too. But I think just having, like, if you have something that to offer, you know, like in your videos, like whether it's entertainment or teaching value or something like that, like a lot of people I think fall short because they're just showing the knife and showing specs, and it's like anybody can.
And when I made the channel, that was like that. I was like, if there's one thing I'm going to avoid, it's top down spec sheet read offs. I'm not going to do it. So that's why I do the kind of long form, whimsical, elegant kind of documentary style. Yeah,
I give a shit less about specs.
I never even look at how big a knife is before I buy it. I'm like, that looks cool. I want that. Right?
I will, but it's that quick. It's literally that quick. That's it. That's why, to me, when I do my videos, I just throw a picture up of the specs, and that's it.
I don't even do that. I don't even do that. If the specs are outrageous, I'll read them off, kind of just throw them in there real quick. Mm-hmm. If it's like the Rayok K2 will get a fucking length reading out and a weight reading because it's a monster. But like if it's it's great. Jason Grant, Brass Brigade, let me borrow that. He's got an amazing knife coming out. That you need to check out.
Jason who?
Jason Brass Brigade on Instagram. Okay. Yes. Nice. Dude, he's been a tattoo artist for 30 years. And he just drew. The story is crazy. I can't wait to get my hands on it and do the review. But the story is he like drew on a fucking napkin when he was in Hawaii on vacation the outline of this knife, and a month later had a prototype in hand.
That's so badass.
And it's fucking gorgeous, dude. Imagine like the handle of an SMG, but the blade off of a Yojimbo. And it's a front flipper and a back flipper, and has deployment holes.
Holy shit!
Yes, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, dude.
Digit Factor, right?
I cannot wait to get my hands on it. Everyone should check him out because that boy's got a future in the knife world. I'm telling you, it's his first ever design. He's not a knife guy. He's a knife guy, but he's not a knife designer.
Who's OEMing it? Do you know?
I think Best Tech is the OEM on this.
Best Tech. Nice. Yeah, dude, that's sweet. And I definitely, I've talked to one other person, actually the same dude who's doing the 3D printing here, that if I send him a good design where he has measurements and everything, if he could possibly make me a 3D printed knife
prototype. Yeah.
So I'm trying. I'm gonna put in some work as soon as I get a little bit of extra time, which I never allow myself to have. Actually,
right? I did 10, 12 years. So I went to engineering school. Remember, we were joking about like college. Who needs it? And I walked out. But it was engineering school. I was in there long enough to learn enough. And growing up, my parents owned a machine shop. So I have like 15 years of CAD CAM experience, 3D CAD design. Nice. So I still dick around with that. I have like 15 knives designed. I just don't know what to do with them. Yeah. I just never know what to do.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. Someday maybe they'll be at the tri-state folder. You never know. Who knows?
That's my one downfall is I don't know shit about CAD. When I was in drafting class, good old drafting class.
Removed. So get him out of here.
Didn't go too well. So I don't have that under my belt. But I mean, I've done construction and building my whole life, but But I definitely want to make a design and hopefully get the 3D printed and send it to one of the companies. And
for prototyping, Jason Grant used the dude in Indonesia, SG Knives.
Oh, dude, I love that fucking guy.
And it was
the knives.
That dude's a fucking like savant. That dude's a genius,
dude.
Like Jason Grant drew up on a piece of printer paper, drew it with the dimensions and everything, and just emailed it to him, and a month later had a functioning knife in hand. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So if you need like a real prototype done, apparently SG's pricing wise is like really affordable too.
Well, that guy, I've looked at his knives and his designs, dude. He's literally got a design out there. It's mine. Like, it's my style. It's my everything. I want it so bad. I've shown it on this channel so many fucking times. But it's an integral. He does make it in 2 pieces too, to bring down the price a little bit, and you can determine your materials to get it a lot more affordable. But it can get up there because it's a custom, right? It is a custom, but man, it's so.
And he does like 80% of it's like hand done. Like he does hand milling and all that shit. Like that dude's fucking wizard. I don't know what the fuck he's drinking on a daily basis, but I want some of it.
Indonesians.
They make great movies too.
Do they?
Oh, dude, The Raid Redemption. There's 3 of them. The best action movie ever made. Period. Bar none. There's no better action movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
Look up The Raid Redemption. It'll fucking rip your throat clean out, dude.
So would you are you planning on, like, if you get monetized and everything, you're planning on trying to take it to the next level? Are you going to try to do it as like an extra income or something like that? Or are you just is it kind of just like, I'm just fucking
I wanted to
I'll be honest, I don't
fund
believe anybody
itself.
who says that.
I wanted to at least fund itself. Like that's the goal short term, is to the channel pays for itself. Right now I pay for everything and I use very expensive equipment and it takes hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And if I was getting paid for that time, we're talking thousands of dollars a week, right? That's how much it basically costs me to run the channel. So people I just don't
realize what it takes.
It really, like, if you're charging $20 an hour for your time and you're spending 30 hours a week, just 30, it's $600 a week that you're just because we love the knife world so much. That's what people can't wrap their heads around, that we just give the time away for free. But that's the goal, is for the channel to pay for itself, at least break even, and then we'll go from there.
Well, the way I look at it, and I've said this
because we're a long way off from the channel breaking even. So.
Oh, for sure. But see, this is the way I look at it, is like with any small business, right? Like I've worked in so much construction and done so much shit, but like with any small business, right? When you first start it, you are going to have to put forth effort and hours that you will not get back. And that is just the investment that it takes to start. So consider that's off. That's done.
And so far it has been well worth it for me. It really has. Right. It's been well worth it.
But then after, when you do start, well, just like even with the small business, if you're going to start a small business, you have to treat it like a job, like a business. You can't, if you start a small business and you treat it like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby.
Yep.
Right. So if you want it to be successful in any manner, then you do have to treat it like a job, and you have to work twice as hard as everybody else. And you might take the risk of it never working out. Right. But that's the long shot with anything. But the way I like to see it is that if you don't give up and you keep putting in the effort and you're good to the community, they'll be good to you back. So I do hope the best for it, though. And I honestly think you got something going, because I mean, I think you're hilarious. I love watching your shit. You're very entertaining. So
takes a long time for every. That's what a lot of people don't get. Like most, again, we were talking about the top-down shooters. I mean, it's 6 to 8 hours per review for me of mana. 6 to 8 hours. Editing alone's 4.5. And
well, people sometimes think, like, I've heard people say, like, they're like, I've been doing this for 6 months or whatever, and it's like, like, that's nothing. That's nothing.
Yep.
Like,
I
posted 40 videos, and it's like, okay,
and I didn't
3 years, bro.
Right. I didn't. I mean, but the fact that I broke 1,000 in 8 months, I was like, my mind was blown. Mind blown. Did not see it coming. Again, I was going to keep uploading, whether I hit 1,000 or not, but that was like the first big milestone. And it felt so far away for the longest time. And then it was there, like overnight. I was like, what the hell? What happened here? What happened?
There is a big difference between never having a channel and starting a channel versus having a channel.
I've had 4. I've had 4 channels. All of them failed.
But that's why you had so much success in 8 months. Because trust me when I say my first 8 months, I think I only had a few hundred,
because I already had everything figured out. All the hard stuff, the photography, the video, the editing, all that stuff, I had it figured out already. Like I've always been good at that.
I didn't know how to do anything. Nothing.
So
when I started it, nothing.
For me, it was
everything. I didn't know how to do shit. I had to learn to make sure I kept the channel going, because she couldn't do it no more.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you ever work on your own knives?
Always, yeah.
You always
Yeah.
do.
I sharpen them. I've learned everything from you, man.
That's
Almost
amazing.
everything. Yeah, seriously, almost everything. Yeah, do everything, all my own maintenance and all that good stuff. Yeah.
So what are a couple knives that have given you some issues?
The fucking vagrant snapped my fucking T6 in half. I told you that earlier. I've never had a knife snap a fucking bit in half.
I've had that
shit
didn't
even budge. Did not even. So I'm gonna heat that bitch up later.
Is it? It's not stripped, right?
No, it's solid.
Okay.
Whatever those screws. I don't know what the screws are made out of. Fucking
Listen,
Wolverine's claws.
Do this. Take your next bit, your next T6, put it in there before you heat it up, because this will most likely work before that. Put it in there, right? Your bit, your driver, put it in there, and take a mallet or a hammer and just one
Hammer
smack
it
on the back of it. Just one smack. And what it'll do is it'll take whatever Loctite is in there, because they use blue Loctite.
Breaks it loose. Yeah.
It'll snap it loose, and then it should just come right out.
Okay.
That's what I do.
You know what? This was one of the first ones I ever disassembled 2 years ago. Was the SE Zancudo, the little frame lock, basically a frame lock rat 2 is what it is. Yeah. I love this knife. I got it apart to dye the tan scale green. And it had the stacked washers, right? Teflon on bronze.
Yep.
And I didn't pay attention to how the order that the washers were in. And this is very early in my knife days. I didn't know how they went back together. And I thought the Teflon was temporary. So I threw them away. This is 2 years ago. I didn't know what I was doing. The action, let's just say the action suffers because of that. Like it doesn't even.
Is it still centered?
Oh, it's dead centered. I just have to crank it down so much that it lost any kind of reasonable action.
It's crazy that the Teflon, that little sliver of Teflon,
that little basically so like much. Tissue paper is what it was. Right. A little floppy.
Yeah. The problem
it was smooth as silk. This knife is really smooth. I really like the stacked. Me too. I was watching a video recently where you were talking about that, and I was like, I'm not the only one. Yeah. I like the stacked. It feels so smooth.
Some of the smoothest knives I've ever felt were stacked washers with a thin layer of Teflon. And in your case, where it's so stacked now, I bet it's still smooth. Even though it's not falling shut. I have a couple knives literally that are fall shut action. Just because.
No, this was really close before I took it apart. It was like dialed the fuck in. I was like, let me take that apart. This perfect fucking knife.
For
learning curves.
I wish, and maybe it wouldn't work. But that's stacked with the phosphor bronze, and then I would like to see a regular Teflon, or maybe even just a little bit thicker, because those ones that they use are like paper.
They're flexible.
Like they're gonna disintegrate.
Mm-hmm. But they make such a big difference. I've learned.
Yeah, it definitely does. I think what it does is because Teflon has a very high, and what it means is it's very slick, but it has a very high self-lubricating factor. So what it does is it basically can stay oiled for longer, and it's very slick even without oil. So you don't even have to have oil on it, and it's already very slick. So I think that is why, because it helps keep the phosphor bronze also slick, because it's so slick. Bees Blades is in
Bees in the house. Yeah, he was driving around listening to us. You believe that shit? Bees? Jason Brown says my videos are amazing. Thank Jason Brown. You've been around. Jason Brown, let me talk to you real quick. You've been watching my channel for a hot minute, dude. I appreciate you. Okay, I'm looking at you, Jason. I appreciate you. You've been around since the beginning, my dude.
That's to you, Jason.
It's to you, my sweet man. You sweet man.
Sinister's Knife Clip says Andrew Demko said on Facebook Live, Teflon are the best pivot options. Yeah, that's been tested too.
Andrew might know a thing or two about knives,
a little bit,
maybe
just a little bit. Even if you see, we use bearings because we love action. That's why, because we love the fall shut action.
We're whores.
But when you're talking about reliability and all of that, and like less maintenance and everything else, Teflon is always going to be the best. However, it might not give you the best action, especially out of the box. And we are whores with action out of the box. We want to open a knife up and it just falls shut the first time we open it. Thing is with Teflon, it takes months.
Takes time.
It takes time. But that knife over months, you will feel it just get better and better and better. And I've said this many times that some of the nicest knives I've ever felt were knives that grew, like that just, you know.
I mean, a good Spyderco broken in. I mean, these are phosphor bronze, man, and they're just
right.
They just swing. You know what I mean?
But man, there are some bearing knives that just fucking they're so smooth.
Oh, I know.
There's some that are just
QSP
like
does an amazing job with action. I have to tell you.
They do.
Especially with a heavier blade. I mean, just look at this thing. Beep.
Yeah.
It's like $100 knife. The Pelican's been blowing my tits off lately. I'm a big fan.
And I always say this too, like when we talk, or I don't know, I maybe I haven't said it enough, but
Brandon Thrasher, the Penguin, is incredible action on phosphor bronze. It's nonsense. I don't know how they fucking do it.
Or on bearings. Well, I think it's stacked too. I think it's phosphor bronze.
I've never taken mine apart. It's just I'm pretty sure it's just phosphor.
It might be just phosphor. I think it's two. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, it's really good. Mine right out of the box came super smooth, right out of the box. Now, the bearing one is also equally as good. It's very, very good.
Ooh, is that the frame lock?
Oh, yeah, God, it's really good, man. I really okay. Brandon says yes, sir. It is stacked.
Oh, they are. I mean, it makes sense why it's so fucking insanely smooth. Then,
yeah.
Because this is how my little fucking Essie was.
I thought it was bearings when I first opened it. To be honest,
I didn't know. I was just like, this is witchcraft, and I want to know how it works. And I love the blade, dude. So slicey. Great warning.
The size is just a great. It's not too small. It's not too big. It's the kind of knife that you can kind of carry anywhere and not have to worry and
it's not scary. It's not a scary knife. No, it's adorable.
It's a knife that you feel comfortable where it's an okay size. It's not gonna be too small, but then it's also a knife that's not gonna be scary or like you're gonna feel like you're pulling out a sword.
Right. Yeah, whip out my K2 at brunch. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I did that at work with the K2, and my boss was like, "Why are you carrying a sword?"
Whoa, yeah.
But with breaking in action, a lot of people think you're breaking in the bearings, which I'm not saying that those are not breaking in too, because they are a little bit, but the majority of the break-in is from the detent. Yes. Because the detent track, when they finish a blade,
once it wears in, you know it. Once it reaches that
exactly.
sweet spot, you know it.
Yeah. And it does take time sometimes. And that's why, like, with a well-built knife, that using it and using the action opening and closing can be a great thing, and it will make it break in faster. Now, with a bad knife, it can backfire on you because your lock bar could possibly continue to move over and over and over.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it just depends on the lock face geometry in that case. But I've had knives that I've opened and closed hundreds of thousands of times and are still like brand new. Then I've had other ones where I've opened and closed them for a month and they're 100% locked up.
Really? So, see, I have not come across anything like that yet. And I never stop playing with my fucking knives. I like never put them down.
Well, shit, I got a metamorph right now where it came from somebody sent it to me, but they said it came like this. It's at like 90%, 80, 90%. And it's fairly new. Yeah, it's fairly new. They normally sit around 40%, but you know,
mine's they're
very affordable knives also.
They are very affordable. You're not gonna be able to maybe it's like maybe 20, 35%, 30%.
Oh, yours is good.
Yeah, mine's sitting spot on, man. I love this knife.
I've tried 3 or 4 of them, and all of them had like 50%, but this other one though, it's really late. And he said it came like relatively like that, like pretty late.
So I had a question for you. And
go ahead.
Before I know you've talked about S35. It doesn't really, it loses that bite when you polish it too much. Mm-hmm. And I've always run into that issue with every knife I've ever had with S35 VN. Yeah. If you over polish it, if you basically go over 1,000 grit, it's going to be, it's not going to cut. It's not going to cut the way you want it to. Mm-hmm. Have you played around with S45? Because they fixed it. I have. Yeah, it definitely how they did it. Better than S35 by far. Much better. Yeah, but now, as far they say the edge retention's not as good, but it is more rust resistant. But I got to tell you, you can take this bitch up to like 8,000 fucking grit, and it still is good and bitey. I've been blown away. Yeah, the knives I've sharpened with it, I actually got one in right now that's getting a polished edge. I have a big kitchen knife too, big fucking like 9-inch Santoku that's S45VN.
No shit.
Yeah, it's Werther's here in Ohio. They hand make all their knives, and they only use the newest steels. That thing is, and it's S45VN, just a big fucking kitchen chef's knife.
How much did that run you?
It was a wedding gift, but they're very reasonable. They're like insanely reasonable. Werther's Cutlery is what they're called.
You seen that new tactile knife with the thumb studs is coming in Magna Cut? Did you see that?
I know. And dude, their XHP is fucking, and they heat treat these in house. They heat treat these in house, and it's fucking chef's kiss. Good. It's so good, dude. It's so good.
XHP
and this is the perfect knife for that.
D2,
it's so thin.
It's a stainless D2 done right. That's what XHP is. It's amazing.
And I love D2.
I don't mind D2. I just don't like it when it's done like shit, which it has like in a lot of times because it does have, it's finicky to heat treat. I'm not a heat treater. This is just what I've been told. And I've seen lots of the results from testing. So you'll get some D2 that just doesn't do that well. Now I will say today's D2 by recommendable companies or, like companies that have a good reputation is by far better than it was a couple years ago when they first started using it. When they first started using it,
because they've got it figured out. They got the recipe right.
They do, at least a lot better. So and because of all the shitting on it in the beginning, it's got a really bad reputation. And I'm not saying that it's some, super steel or anything, but it's a good steel for the price we pay. We're lucky to have steels like that.
It's so good. Like 9CR on the Badlands Vagabonds. I cannot keep this fucking knife sharp. I can't do it. I can't keep it sharp. I use it for a week and it's trashed. But that's a Civivi. I have a Civivi X-Arc in D2 that I've used for a year and a half and have abused for a year and a half, and I've never had to sharpen it.
I always say their D2 is probably the best I've seen.
It's so good. I sent you that chef's knife, by the way. It's a 7-inch Santoku, giant ass, American made, handmade with love with S45VN. It's $120.
No shit.
I sent you the link right here. It's fucking gorgeous. Look at it. They do that beautiful, like, wait till you see this fucking thing. See if you can do it.
How do I get into there? Oh, there it is.
It's gorgeous. It's like the last chef's knife you'll ever need. S45VN.
Let me pull it up really quick.
I can share my screen too if you want me to.
Well, here, I think I can do it right here. I can go like.
I just cannot speak highly about them enough. They've been around forever. My grandparents only used Werther knives. I'm from Ohio. My dad has only ever had Werther's knives, and now I have my first Werther knife. It's kind of like a family tradition.
Yeah, that is sweet.
Is that not gorgeous for $120? S45VN.
It doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah, and they're fucking hand. It's like 20 dudes in the middle of Ohio.
There you guys go, man. S45 for a kitchen knife. And it like he said, it does have better stainless than S35, which S35 is already a good stainless.
Yeah.
So,
and I wanted to talk to you about that while we're on kitchen knives. I also got one of the Wii pairing knives as a wedding gift. Okay. And this bitch is patining like a motherfucker. Look, do you see that? Like right near the edge, near the handle. Do you see that little kind of dirty spot?
Yes, I do.
Yep, it's on both sides, and I clean these fuckers, and this is S35VN, high polish, and I've had it for less than a month. Wow. So save your money. Don't get one of the Wii kitchen knives. It's
man.
It's already a month. It's patining after a month, and my fucking $120 Ohio made.
Do you care too much about patina on a kitchen knife? I mean, if it's like the
I really don't. But this is such a pretty knife. I kind of care. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, with the shred carbon fiber handle and all that stuff. It's a very pretty knife. But we use this for limes and lemons and shit. We're making cocktails. Yes,
that's why. Yeah, because of the limes and stuff. I have a right now in from Cue Ball. Nobody's seen it yet, but I got a chef knife in 14C28N. It's badass.
It's like, dude, 14C is like the perfect kitchen knife steel because it's so easy to sharpen.
And it's so stainless. It's tough. So being that thin, that's another thing is that
you need a tough steel.
You need tough steel. It needs to be tough. If you want the best case scenario with a chef knife.
M390 does not work in the kitchen because you will chip the living fuck out of it and you'll never be able to sharpen it.
You'll hit a bone and it'll just warp.
Yep.
when you get it that thin, and it's not usually like with folders, it's not that big of a deal. You don't have to have a really tough steel, although it can help when you're going to get really thin geometry. But with a big old hunk of metal like that, that's super thin, you need a tough steel.
That's how are they doing that for $120? That's a huge piece of S45.
Yeah,
it's crazy. That finish they do, they hand do that little like polish finish, that little circle polish finish. It's crazy. I toured their factory when I was like 15, 16, and it blew my fucking mind.
But
here's another one, like 14C, 10CR. Have you played with the Hadros yet?
I got a bunch of it. I do have the Hadros.
I'm digging it. I'm digging the 10CR. I'll take this over 9CR every fucking day of the goddamn week, because at least I can keep this one sharp.
I actually have right now. Fuck it, I'll show it.
I love Dylan Mallory.
I got the new
great designer.
Civivi Elementum
the Fixie. Yeah.
That's 10CR.
I'd use that shit in the kitchen all day. That's 10CR?
Yes.
Fuck me, dude. I just want one just because it's 10CR.
The only thing is the handle is a little slick, but still, this is like
a high polish.
This is a very versatile blade. Like it could be a tactical blade, it could be a camping blade, it could be a kitchen. Like you can do so much with this. I like this thing a lot. Quite a bit.
Dude, Freedom Fox, if you get that for your fucking dad, he will fall to his knees. I'm telling you, they make the best. They have, like, look up that company history. It's insane. They've been around for like 150 fucking years. They're amazing. Amazing people. So
Dwayne says, I just got a budget Ganzo Firebird
Brass Brigade
D2, and I would have to say it's taken one of the sharpest edges I've ever been able to put on my knives. D2, especially when they're done right, it takes
if the heat treat's good.
Incredible sharp edge. Now the thing is, D2 is that what we don't usually give it credit for is its edge retention, and the reason why is because of all the Chinese D2 back in the day, because they were literally making their own D2, saying D2, and the recipe was pretty close, but it wasn't American D2.
Close. It was close.
It was close enough to where it would come out as pretty much D2, but
it would test. It would test right. Yeah.
Right. But now we are. I mean, like I said, it has gotten better, and especially from reputable companies, and the heat treats are getting a little bit better. But good D2 has better edge retention than S30V. Like, that's what people don't realize. Like, it is an incredible steel. The thing is, though, is if you want to see its potential, you have to get it from a custom maker or somebody who does it in small batches. Because I think that's the issue, is that it being done in huge batches, there's no way for them to get it in, because it has to be done within a certain temperature ratio, and it can't be off by more than 50 degrees.
Yep.
So when you have a big ass, when you're heat treating a massive amount of knives, there's no way you're going to be able to make sure that all those knives are within 50 degrees of each other. It's impossible.
The ones closer to the heating element are going to be hotter than the ones further away. The ones closer to the sides of the tank, et cetera, et cetera.
Right, whatever. Right. And you can't really blame them when they're giving it to you, when they're saying, hey, man, this is a $20 knife.
Right. Yeah. Especially Ganzo, you can't complain.
You can't blame
even
them.
if it's dog shit. You can't complain.
Right. And the knives are really good quality. So for the $20, I'm saying.
I've always wanted to, but I've never handled a Ganzo. I skipped that period. Also, Brass Brigade snuck in on us.
Did he?
See you, Jason. Yeah. I was bragging about you earlier, Jason. I was bragging about that knife, buddy.
Welcome. But yeah, they're good. Like, a lot of people shit on them because they do steal some designs and stuff like that. But you don't have to get those knives. And I think not
like the FH11 everybody loves, and that's not a stolen design, is it?
And the 71, there's a bunch of them that aren't, that are just their own designs. And for somebody who wants a user knife and just a good tool, they're not a bad way to go. They're really good quality and
great value.
16 to 20, 30 bucks, and you're getting a knife that from any other company would be 50, 60 bucks.
Right. Yeah, $15. You can't. Ooh, another 14C, man. I totally forgot about it. My Reich. I don't know what this is. P831.
Oh yeah, rake.
Yeah. Man, God, this is on. I think this is stacked washers too, and it's buttery smooth.
They just
14C, and their 14C is.
It's good.
Love it.
Good.
I love it.
I don't think anybody does 14C bad, but
I know everyone needs to use it. Every budget brand needs that.
It's because it was made to be like. I'm not saying, because there are companies that are going to do it really good. Right? Like Civivi right now is knocking it out of the park, but everybody's going to do it okay. It's just Like I don't ever see anybody doing it bad. It's just you're going to see some doing it really good and then some doing it average.
Yeah.
So,
but even 14C average is pretty fucking good.
it's not bad, right? It's not bad. But the thing is, though, is that when you see it done, like to the extent of like how Civivi's doing it when they're taking it above 60 HRC, it's like it takes a huge leap. Like
it's serious. It's like borderline super steel.
Yes,
and the fact that we're like paying so little for it blows my mind.
Right.
I feel the same way about 154 as well. I think it's a great budget.
I like 154. I do not like CPM 154, but I love 154.
Same. I don't know what happened when they powder formed it, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work as well.
Too fine. It's too fine grained. I think this is my. I have no idea if I'm right. I could be completely wrong.
Could be totally fucking wrong.
Yeah, I could be batshit crazy, but I think possibly it's just so fine grained, and maybe the car bites aren't big enough.
Yeah.
In that fine grained of a steel, or maybe possibly there's not enough. I don't know why. I can't answer why, but for some reason, 154 CM takes a fucking nasty sharp edge. Now, yes, it doesn't take a great polished edge. Sometimes it can, but around 600 to 1,000 grit, nasty sharp, incredibly sharp. But CPM 154, it's like 300 grit is like 154 CM 600 grit.
It's like a 50% drop for whatever reason. I don't get it. I don't get why there's that big of an offset. It's crazy.
I don't get it either. It's the grain structure is so different, so you got to sharpen it completely different.
Yeah, and that's why I like 154 CM, because it's like a mindless task. You just sharpen it, you polish it, and you're done. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about special anything.
Yeah,
and you can polish that shit all day.
See, I don't polish my 154 just because I love it at 600 to 1,000 grit. I do admit some does take a good polish, but I've had some not take a great polish. And sometimes what happens, I think that once I start using it, the bite starts going away. But I have had some decent results with polished edges on it. But
well, my only real experience is with ProTech, and ProTech's 154 CM is just
that could be
on the money.
Yeah,
it's on the money.
Yeah,
every time.
But I think though around 600 grit for 154 CM, it takes such an aggressive.
It doesn't matter where. That's what I love about it. It doesn't matter where you stop.
Go any higher. I don't want to go any higher with this shit.
Right. It doesn't matter where you stop with a steel like that. 14C is the same way. You can stop anywhere and wherever, as long as you've apexed it.
Yeah,
you're good. You're done.
I tell you what, let me see this. I'm impressed. I can be by Civivi's Damascus. I just chopped up some apples with my Elementum and it slices like a beast. Their
Damascus VG10
really,
based?
Really no, it's 9CR, but it's a powdered 9CR. So it's
like ARPM, whatever the fuck that shit is.
It's like Damasteel.
Yeah.
Because Damasteel is done in the RWL 34. And it's a powdered steel. So that's why it's so good. It's because it's done in a powdered steel made into like one billet. Most Damascus, it's multiple, like say 2 steels, and then they mold them together and beat them together into one steel, but it's still 2 different steels mixed together. When you do it in powdered form, it's the 2 powdered steels mixed together to form one billet of steel. That's what they're doing with their Damascus, which is why
I've never handled any of them. They look really pretty, but
that's
good to know they work.
That's possibly the best, in my opinion, aside from Damasteel. The best Damascus you're going to find, especially for the money. It is really good. And
Weed does not mess around, dude. They just don't. It's crazy.
Even in the testing, it's shown that the edge retention is really, really good, which a lot of Damascus doesn't get. But
isn't it? Yeah, I hear a lot of complaints.
Like that it does.
Not bad Damascus. Welcome back, NAF Sergeant. I don't know where you went, but welcome back.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome back. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
What's Brandon doing? Fuck Joe Biden. Thanks, Chicago 23.
Let's go, Brandon. Just sharpened my Best Tech Mako and K110 600 grit, and it's sticky. Yeah, K110 is D2 basically.
Yeah, I want to play with K110 and what is it, K390? Never played with either of them. I need to hunt something down with both.
K390 is, in my opinion, similar to like Maximat.
Yeah, and I've never messed around with Maximat either. I've been meaning to, but I'm a big steel nerd. It's all your fault. It's all your fault, Jarrett.
Well, if you want to feel like the highest level of sharpness, in my opinion, it's going to be Crewwear, K390, and Maximet. The thing with
So
Maximet,
the three steels I've never handled. Okay, got it. Fuck.
the thing with K390 and Maximet is that they take an insane polished edge. I mean, like beyond ridiculously sharp. But the problem is that they're such a hard steel
It
that
takes forever to get there.
no. It's that it can microchip. You have the potential.
Ooh, and then and then you go to cut and you just hang up and it's in
Well, it's
fucking
it's like you'll literally
it's the biggest boner kill in the world, dude.
You have something that has insane edge retention and you use it a few times and then you run your nail up it and you're like, where the fuck?
What is that? Yeah, I can't
It's so
see it.
tiny.
What is it? Right, yeah.
You can't see it,
Ugh.
but it's so tiny. But and I'm not saying all of them will do that. I've had some where they do okay, but you do have the a pretty good potential of that happening because especially if you do a laid back angle. If you want to prevent that and you really want a polished edge, just don't lay your angle back very far and you should be okay. And then you can also always put a micro bevel on it to make the edge a little bit tougher.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's what I usually do.
I find myself doing that a lot with more brittle steels.
Yeah. If I have a customer,
most M390 stuff like that, I'll always put a little
tiny
stank on it.
You
stank on it.
Right, a little stank.
No, yeah, yeah. They never know. They'll never know.
Because
I was looking for my jeweler's loop. That's what I use. I use like a jeweler. Hold it my eyeball.
Yep.
Like fucking monocle.
Thing.
Like
I've actually recommended that to people that really want to get into sharpening to get
like
yourself a
jeweler's man. Yeah, a little plastic jeweler's loop.
Yep,
it's great.
You can get really affordable ones all the way up to really nice ones. I got a couple different ones. I got one that's 40 magnification and one that's 60. Before that, I was literally using like old grandpa's newspaper reading
magnifying glass. Yeah, fucking Sherlock Holmes over here. Look out.
Exactly.
I gotta solve the mystery of this chipped edge. What's going on here? Yeah.
Spirited whiskey's in the house. XHP is still my all-around favorite EDC steel.
Cheers, buddy.
To date.
Boom,
dude. That
XHP,
steel,
love it.
Such a great steel.
Dude, that's the only reason the swayback has stayed in my collection is because this fucking blade. Where is it? This fucking blade in XHP with the hollow grind is stupid. It's stupid.
It is.
It is one of the sliciest fucking knives I've ever played with.
I got the slish buoy. I got a few knives in XHP, but
that hollow grind is
all of them, man. Not only do they take a nasty sharp edge, the edge retention is really good, and I honestly, I got my slish buoy still. It's still on its factory edge, and I still swear to this. That's the best factory edge I've ever seen in my life. People try to say, "Oh, well, you haven't used it enough." I've used the shit out of it. It's just for some reason that thing is just kicking.
I'm telling you, dude. I've never touched this. I beat the fuck. I call this my big pirate folder because it looks like a pirate's knife. But I beat the fuck out of this, and that shiny ass stonewash, whatever the fuck blade's going on, is still the factory edge, man. I never have to touch it.
How do you like that stonewash? I love it.
That kind of high polished stonewash is fucking cool, man. I like it because it hides the scratches well enough, but it's it looks pretty in pictures, but it hides the scratches. So it's like the best of both worlds.
I think the way it's done, and actually, Richie B, I don't know if he's still in here, but he can maybe.
Yeah, Richie, help! You're a wizard.
I think that tumble is a tumble finish that they do for like 24 to 48 hours or something. I think that's how they get that. I'm not positive, but I think
it's so shiny.
That's how they get it. It is a beautiful finish. Really
beautiful. You can almost see you. I'm trying to find you. Where are you?
How is ZDP 189 on your Rockset? It's great. It's great. Mine, I'll be honest, mine now is nowhere near as sharp as it was when I first got it, but it's still very sharp. It'll still cut paper and everything. I'm not saying it's dull, but when I first got it, I mean, that thing was so crispy. So it does need a tune-up. I've been stropping it and everything. So, but I do think eventually I'm going to have to sharpen it. Now, the question is, do I just do it myself or do I send it in a Rockset? Because if I do it myself, they're
scary. That's scary.
It is scary. The thing is, though, is I found out that if you send it into them, they're just going to do a regular edge bevel on it. That's how they resharpen those. That's what I've heard. I thought that they would just redo the whole thing and I'll get it come back and it'll look like brand
Imagine how expensive that process is. That's why they charge so much, because it's so time consuming. It's not the materials. It's not the man hours. It is the man hours, but
Yeah,
it's the
man hours,
machine time and the man hours to put that goes into that blade. The handles are done for weeks before that blade gets fucking done. It's
Well,
insane.
and then they heat treat it to an insane number,
right? Oh,
which means
start
that
to finish that blade is like however many hundreds of hours. I don't even know.
And then the steel, it's not like other ZDP 189. You're talking about ZDP turning into an insane super steel.
Yeah.
Like
What are they heat treated to? What are they like?
66, 67,
yeah,
depends, but anywhere between 65 and 67, 68. Mine's 66.3. They tell you, and then you can see the mark on it where they checked it, and it's so hard that when they're doing their they hand polish them, so you can read where they send you a thing and it says like this was hand polished from 300 grit to 2000 grit, and that's a lot of time to do that.
That's so much time. Imagine just the arthritis, like in the painkillers on that factory floor. Forget about it.
Pacow! Thank you for the donation. Yo, I'm thinking about buying my first titanium frame lock knife.
Ooh.
Hopefully under $200. Any recommendation?
Under $200. Under $200. A two
under
son.
200.
Titanium frame lock under $200.
I would say honestly, under $200, there are so many options you could go with.
For a titanium frame lock?
Yeah.
Oh wait, shit! If he likes Warnies, he can get a knock chef.
You can get it
for $99.
QSP Penguin.
Oh, the frame lock. Ooh, yeah, that one. Go with that one. Go with
that's
the
really nice.
It's a great one.
There are countless Tucsons you can get. The 301 insane. That you can get carbon fiber, micarta, and titanium. If you're wanting all titanium,
Kaiser M Stealth. It's a great one.
Yeah, I got one of those right here too.
Nice hollow grind.
Yeah, that's
real nice hollow grind.
Yeah, beautiful hollow grind. There are so many lists. I would just honestly watch some good reviews, figure out, because in that price range, there's a lot. Especially if you put it in like Tucson consideration, because that's 150 and under for the most part, and you're into the really good Tucsons at that price. Between $100 and $150, that's where you're into the best Tucsons available. So, and then if you're going to talk about concept about $180 and less. Kaisers, same thing. Knives, you're right there in that price range.
Yeah, when you get to the titanium frame locks, you're looking at. I mean, this one was
about $200, right?
If you save up your dollars, the Roxy comes out. Roxy 3 comes out in November. This thing's fucking tits, man. This thing's tits. Can't get over it.
Jared,
I've always wanted one.
I got mine today, Big Dad.
Ooh. Oh yeah, Asher. The Asher's frame locks are great value for money.
Hey.
Ooh, Spirited Whiskey, 1920. Good choice, my dude. Excellent choice. It's a man
I would
of culture.
show you guys, but then you guys won't watch my first impressions.
Ooh, wait, what? What's the model? Which one is it?
The all titanium spiral. Let me flip it. The all titanium Spiro.
Spyro the Dragon. Nice.
Maybe I'll let you guys listen to it on the microphone.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll let you guys just.
Oh, wait. Do that again. Oh. It's a good noise.
Yeah,
it's a good noise.
It's sweet.
I've never fucked around with an Asher. I need to.
None of them?
Not a single one.
I can send you all of them, man.
Fucking send me the lot, would you?
I got them.
I'll send you my.
I'll send you
if you haven't played with the Rockwall yet, I'll trade you the Rockwall.
I haven't, and
I'll send it to you. This is number 213. You'll get a very special unboxing experience with this one, man. It's pretty special. They like 3D print the box. It has magnets and all this crazy shit. It's really impressive.
Yeah, I've been on their website a couple times. I thought about getting one of the pens. I was going to contact them and talk to them about getting one of their the magnet cut knives. And it's not like I was going to say, hey, give it to me. I was just going to, because that's not out yet. I was going to say, hey, do you think I could maybe buy it a little early? Yep. Maybe get a little bit of a deal. I'm going to do a full review on it. And then, maybe I'll buy a pen or something like that. Like just to get the full experience.
So I've loved them for like 8-9 years. Before Knives, I was really into fountain pens, and I had several tactile turn fountain pens that I loved. The tactile turn Gist, dynamite. I bought my dad one and my mom one. I love those pens. But then when they came out with the knife, I was like, holy fuck, I am in line right now. And it was so worth it. So worth it. American made. Great price.
I hear that tactile finish too feels really good.
Oh, it's so good. And it looks so good.
I know it does.
It just looks so fucking good. Look at it. Just look at it.
That's
It's such a pretty fucking knife.
Is it the exact same as the pens? The finish?
Yes.
Yeah. The exact same.
Yep.
Jared reviewed my CK Misfit a while back, and that knife has the best audible sounds in my collection. Like
I love a knife that makes good sounds. Dude, good sounds are a big plus. Big plus for me.
Such a plus. Like I could literally, I said this so many times that I could literally look at a knife and be like, "Yep, I don't like it. It's not my style." And then all of a sudden, I'll hear
you open it. Yeah, you'll hear the ka-ching, and you're like, "Ooh, I want two, please." All right,
yeah, two.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's why I like that. I really got to tell you, man. As far as noises go, the new Roxy, man, is a very clicky, clacky piece, and it's it just makes good audible clicky clacks, and I'm a big fan.
Sounds like it.
The Exploit. Did you play around with the Best Tech Exploit by Todd Knife and Tool?
Nope. I never got to try any of the Todd Knife and Tool knives.
What? Oh, the Shodan is one of my fucking all-time favorites. It's so fucking outrageous.
I know. It looks amazing.
So outrageous, but it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous knife. I mean, it's like a fucking future space punk S&G.
Strider.
Yeah, Strider, exactly. Mm-hmm. But I got to tell you, man, Best Tech hit it out of the park. So I had the malware, and the Exploit at one point. So I was trying to collect all of the Todd Knife and Tool knives. But all their knives.
Not a Ferrum Forge knife?
Sorry, it was an Artisan Ferrum Forge knife?
I did not see that.
I don't want to talk about Ferrum Forge because it just makes me miss my malice and makes me sad that some fucker in the post office is flipping my $300 malice around.
We don't need PTSD on Neeves knives.
Oh, God.
Yeah. We got a few more minutes till story time.
Yeah. Then we can talk about PTSD.
Then we'll get the PTSD.
Yeah.
So were your grandparents or parents into knives at all?
I mean, yeah. So my both on either side, my granddads, on my mom and dad's side, both always had a knife on them.
Samurai. 9 o'clock is always story time.
Of course. I was looking at my clock. I was like, what? It's almost 10 o'clock. And then I was like, oh, wait. Eastern time. But yeah, they always had knives. Always had a pocket knife on them. Like, my grandpa would sit me on his lap and would pull out his old whatever fucking Gerber, whatever that was from the 70s and cut an apple up for me piece by piece while I'm sitting on his lap. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've always been around knives. I've always been around guns in general, and anything that cuts, anything that shoots. I've been around it since I was a fucking newborn. So. And
that's probably what drew you into the hobby, probably.
Right. And my parents own a manufacturing company. They own a $10 million manufacturing facility. Yeah.
So you've been around steel and
so I've been around very, very So I mean, when I worked for them, I did all the very kind of tedious small jobs. I mean, we would do stuff for the U.S. government. We did one. It was 10,000 mounting brackets. This is back in 05, 06. And they had a bunch of old Army Humvees, but they were running into IEDs when they first went into the Middle East after 9/11, right? So they needed to upfit these old Humvees from the first Gulf War when they weren't dealing with IEDs, and they needed to put armor plating on the belly. So I personally machined all the brackets that mounted the armor plating onto the old Humvees.
No shit.
Yeah, that was one of my jobs. Yeah.
It's amazing.
And I was 13, 14. I was a kid doing government contract work. Yes, sir.
That fucks up. And remember, a 13-year-old did it.
That's right. Yeah, no, hey, they never failed, baby.
That's awesome. Addicted to Knives says, yo, Jared, just got my 2-cent and Tuya you sent in the mail. These things are stupid.
Tuya's doing amazing work.
Thanks again for the sharpening. Well worth the money. No problem, man. No problem.
Seriously good work. I need to get my hands on a Tuya. And Ohio does rule beast blades. You're right.
If you haven't had Tuya, I can send you a Tuya too.
I've never had a Tuya.
Yeah, he sent a couple in for sharpening, but yeah, Tuya does some. You'd be surprised how good they are. Oh,
I've heard some amazing stuff.
Yeah,
and their stuff looks wild. Yeah, I need to check it out.
I think they might possibly be doing I don't know about under the table, but extra OEM work. But I wish they would do more designs. There's some killer designs, but they stick with the same design all year, maybe even 2 years in a row. And then it's like, come on, guys, do 3 or 4 designs a year. Like every year, come out with 4 or 5 more designs.
One per quarter, one per fiscal quarter.
Will keep us happy. If they did that, they would kill it. And I know in some senses, like they look at it like, okay, we did that like this one year, and maybe it didn't knock it out of the park.
Right.
But that's why you should do it again next year, because that's how you continue to get your name and continue to do everything and continue to get that reputation up. You can't base it off of the first year you started, right?
If Spyderco had based their fucking whole line off like, oh, how do we do the first year? Do you think we would have all the fucking Spydercos we have today? No, sir.
Exactly.
No, sir.
Keep it going, because people need to see that. The more. If you get one in your hand, you'll know right away. Like this thing is like, I always said it, like my NV2, it for like a $200 knife, you feel like you have a $400 knife in your hand.
Yeah.
It does have that level of quality.
That's a big thing for me, dude. When you spend a lot of money on a knife, and to me, $200, that's a lot to most people. $200 is a lot of money to spend
for
on
a knife. For a knife,
especially, right? But when you spend that much and you open it and you're like, this is only $200? Wait a minute. I fucking love that shit. I love that. Like this was like that to me, because this was what, like $290.
Okay.
And I opened it up and I was like, this feels like a $600 knife.
Right.
This is because it's Rayot and it's so overbuilt and it's so outrageous. I was like, I would pay $600 for this.
Yeah,
and one of his customs is like what, $1,600. So
the envy feels like a Riette too. Picao, she is doing great. She is playing her game right now.
Damn, dude. My Kara is playing video games too.
Oh yeah, Kara and Kara. I forgot.
Yeah, my wife's name is Kara. His wife's name is Kara.
Real Steel Luna, is there much difference between the $30 one and the $100 one? Yeah, titanium frame lock. One's a slip joint, one's a frame lock. But the frame lock, it's not like a bearing knife. It is more. You can slow roll it with your thumb or flick it out. You can. I sent mine to Mike Emler, but it's more of a stiffer type of action. It's not like a bearing knife. But they do have some. I mean, I'm sitting here messing with a Real Steel right here. They do have bearing knives.
Yes, they do. Needle bearings. Why don't they do this on all their fucking knives? Why?
They have multi-row bearings too. They have multi-row bearings, needle bearings. They're
like one of the only companies that get crazy. Yeah. Like everybody else is just give me mass-produced cage bearings, call it a day.
Yeah.
And Real Steel's like, oh, we got some needle bearings laying around. Why not? And it fucking shows, dude. This is a $60 knife. What the fuck?
They need to advertise it more. They don't advertise it enough. Like that should be one.
It's a huge selling point. That is a huge selling point.
I feel like a lot of companies, they have a huge selling point and they don't even realize it.
Yeah, it's like, they got bad marketing. They got a bad marketing department, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna read this next comment and then we'll go into story time. So Spirited Whiskey says, or Spirited Blades says, did you both see the new Christensen Knife Works
Mini Maverick
OEM coming out? Pre-sale was like 2 weeks ago. I handled the proto. It was spectacular. No, I don't think so. I'm gonna pull it up really quick though.
Rayot Mini Maverick. Maverick S liner lock. $365. That's not a bad price. Ooh. And you know what it looks like? It looks like a thug made love to a penguin, and that's what it looks like. Like a wee thug.
Oh, there it is. Oh, this does.
It literally looks like a wee thug made love with a penguin, with a QSP penguin.
I can't pull up a better picture because that one's not as good as I bet you right here is. Yeah, no, this looks sweet. Here, I'm gonna pull it up and let you guys see it. That is
Rayot's making this. Oh boy. Oh boy. Click on the picture. It gets big. Click on the picture. It gets big.
Oh, does it?
Thing. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That looks nice. And I've handled the customs from Ryan from Spirited Blades. Oof. Holy shit, bro.
Dude, that's a good looking. I didn't even know this exists. That's the thing about the knife world, dude. Even though like me and you are literally balls deep buried in the knife world every single day, and we miss shit like this. Like you cannot keep up with everything. It's impossible.
No. And God, you can expect Riette of any company that if it's
I'm on a huge Rayot kick right now. Huge.
Well, if it's a custom maker sending their design in, you can expect it to be the closest possible to that custom. Yep. They knock it out of the park. What knife is that with roller needle bearings? Yeah. So You have the
Metamorph.
the real steel
The
metamorph.
G5. Yeah, this is the G10 G5. Like, what the fuck?
There's a bunch. They have a few knives. If you just look up Real Steel knives, Real Steel has like 4 or 5 models with needle bearings. They have a couple models with multi-row bearings, and then the Real Steel Metamorph Mini is on regular bearings. So don't be fooled. The regular or the
This
mini
is the
one.
big boy. This is like a full-size knife.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very thin. My review, I called it the best folding steak knife in my review because that's what it looks like to me, and it's 14C.
Spirit Blade says there will be inset tie liner lock with my Carta scales and then full tie. Is the pre-order over now? It's all done with.
Yeah. They're all sold out. I just checked.
Of course
God damn it.
Because Spirited Blades didn't want to say that in the last live, did he? He didn't want to bring it up 2 weeks.
Where were you? Where were you?
Where were you?
Where the fuck were you, man?
Yeah.
You let us down.
Fuck.
You let us down. Disappointed. Yeah, Rayot makes. I mean, the Chavez line is nonsense. It's so good.
I wonder what kind of bearings this one has.
Oh, get the Sherlock Holmes inspector glass out.
Yeah, that's what I should do. Story time. So,
story time. I love story time.
You got the deck. What story do you have for us tonight?
Okay, so 2 options.
Okay.
Either third-degree burns at a bachelor party, or getting robbed the day that Skyrim came out. Do you remember Skyrim, the video game? So 2012, which was a big day in my life. Skyrim, one of the greatest video games ever made.
Them. The first one, getting robbed, and then
we're gonna go with getting robbed.
I'll piggyback. Go ahead.
Okay, so I used to do stand-up. This is one of my stand-up bits, was me getting robbed. So when I was at college for a very short period of time, I was there long enough to get robbed. I went to University of Cincinnati. And
one second. Sorry.
Skyrim?
Spirited says he didn't sell out his entire run in his pre-sell. So does that mean that
he'll have a drop afterwards? Is what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So I guess
me and Jared will be in line.
Everybody hurry up and get Amnesia and forget about this little message.
You never heard anything. You never saw anything. Nope. You were never here.
Nope.
This was all a lie. So anyway, in my short stint at college, I was long enough to get really high and really drunk and learn nothing. And I was there long enough to basically get really high, get really drunk, and play a lot of video games. That's what I did. That's what I paid $20,000 a year to do.
A normal college student.
Normal college experience, right? So I totally normal. I'm sorry. By the way, this does not end with me going to prison or me getting stabbed. I watched the last live and I was like, damn, I am not that kind of guest. Holy shit. I am the furthest thing from that kind of guest. So anyway, I'm on the other side of that coin. Like the other person in this story, I think he went to jail. So it was a beautiful day. I think it was November 2012. Skyrim came out, Elder Scrolls 5, and it was long awaited. I think Elder Scrolls Oblivion had come out 6 years prior, 7 years. Took them a long ass time to make this game, and I'm a huge fucking nerd, and I was shitting my pants. So I was first in line to get it. Tuesday night, baby. My roommates left to fucking go to a coffee shop and do real college things like study and shit. And I was like, fuck that. I'm playing video games. Eat my dick. So I'm sitting at home alone in the dark, exploring Skyrim. And I hear a knock on the door. And I'm in the hood. Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati is basically where Jared grew up. That's what it is.
Okay.
It's that bad. You know what I mean? It's not a great place. It's not where you want to. Not a place where you want to raise kids. You know what I mean? Just isn't. It just isn't. I'm in like the shittiest part of the shittiest neighborhood. Yeah. I'm at the very bottom of this hill, and that's just where the corner of Ravine and Clotter. We would look out our window. I would look out my window at night when I went to bed, and there'd just be like 8 hookers lined up, just getting in cars, going around the block. Like that's where I lived in college. It was that. Yes, right. That was just normal. Uh-huh. So I'm sitting there minding my own business, playing the greatest video game that's ever come out in the history of my life. And I hear a knock on the door, and I get up, and I'm like, wasn't expecting my roommates back this soon. Go to the door, and no, I'm sorry. He knocked on the window. I was sitting next to an open window.
Ooh, okay.
He knocked on the open window. So window's here. I'm here playing video games, like literally a foot from my face.
Uh-huh.
And I look over, and there's just like this strange African-American middle-aged dude in my window. And I'm like, well, it's Clifton. This is life here, right?
Yeah.
This is normal.
In this
And he's like,
this is normal.
yeah. So word for word, he goes, hey man, I used to live in this house. And I was like,
good for you.
I was like, you did you? And he goes, yeah, man. Me and my boy Ricky, we used to live in this. That's how he's talking. We used to live in this. Yeah, seriously, yeah. And I was like, you can't say black. No, well, he's a middle-aged black guy. I will give you his. We'll get into this.
We need a mental picture here. Shit.
Right. So, but he's a short guy, about my height. I'm 5'10", right? Little stocky. And he's just up against my screen, like his face up against my screen. And he's like, I used to live here. This was my childhood home. And I was like, cool, man. Yeah, I'm just playing video games. And he starts asking these questions like, you live here long? You live here alone? Anybody else here? And I was like, not right now. No, they'll be right back. They went to the store, and I'm a fucking 100-pound little scrawny white kid with playing video games, picking my nose alone on the couch, right? Like I'm just I'm the perfect target. I'm the perfect target.
Yeah. He got lucky that day.
Right. So he opens up the screen at this point.
Oh shit.
He opens up the screen and he's just kind of like pokes his head in. And I'm right here. And so he's just like, what's going on? He just pokes his head in. I'm like, what are you doing, man? And he's like, hey, that's a real nice TV. That's big. That's a big screen. I was like, yeah, it's 50-inch. Yeah, what's going on, man? And he's like, we had a traffic light, a real traffic light we had stolen, but a traffic light that mounted on the wall. He's like, is that a real traffic light? I ain't never seen. You got a real traffic light in your living room. Wow, that's something else. And I was like, okay, great, And this goes on for like 20 minutes of this.
He's weighing his options right now.
Yeah. So, and as the conversation goes, he starts leaning further and further through the screen window. And by the end of the 20 minutes, he's like torso up is in my fucking living room. He's already halfway in my living room. And I'm like, all right, man, well, this is getting a little weird. So I tell you what, I was like, I want to smoke a cigarette. So I'll come out there. I'm a very personable guy. I've always been a good talker. I feel like I can talk my way out of anything. So I was like, I'll come out there. I'll chat with you out there. It's pouring rain, by the way, this whole time, just shit storming. And it's like November, pouring rain, cold, right? So I put on my coat, put on a hood, right? And I light up a cigarette and I go outside. And I don't lock the door behind me, but I make sure it's shut. And I locked the window before I walked around to talk to him. So I talked to him. And over the course of 45 minutes, this man tells me his entire life story. His name is Artise, spelled Artese. Artise, I don't know his last name, never caught it, but Artise grew up in the neighborhood. Don't think he grew up in that house. And keep in mind, this is the story of me getting robbed, but we'll get to that. Don't worry.
Yeah, I get it. Go ahead.
Don't worry.
Take your time.
Artise, grew up when he was in his younger years. He was here in Cincinnati, but then he left and he grew up in East St. Louis for a time. And in East St. Louis, he picked up boxing. This is not my story. This is Artise's story, right? So Artise, growing up, East St. Louis is a rough fucking neighbor. That is a rough part of the country.
Yeah.
That's just not a nice place to be. But he's like, yeah. So he's telling me the story. He goes, yeah, when I was in East St. Louis, I did a little boxing. He goes, I did a little boxing. And he's doing this towards me, towards my little scrawny ass. And I'm like, dodging his blows.
Yeah.
He never hit me, but he's like, I was pretty good. Thought I would go broke. Never worked out, all that shit. So that goes on forever. And he tells me about his first wife, and then he tells me about his kids, and then he tells me about his second wife and their divorces.
Oh.
And then, so this goes on for an hour. So
damn.
From the moment he's come up to my window to now, it's been about 2 hours. So I've been alone with this strange man, just shooting the shit for 2 hours.
Now he knows for sure you're alone.
Now he knows for sure. It's been too long. To be fair, if he wasn't hammered, like piss drunk hammered, he was the greatest actor and deserves a fucking Oscar because the man was like falling over himself.
Well, when you're a professional thief, you learn how to adapt to the situation pretty good.
He was a pretty bad professional thief, and I'll tell you why. So he fucking After all this, he was like, I
Yeah,
offered.
you would, Lefty. You
I was
would.
off-
You would.
I offered him a cigarette, and he's like, "Oh, I don't drink. And I was like, or I don't smoke, and I'm done drinking." I offered him some beer. He's like, "I don't drink," and I was like, "Are you sure?" Because you like,
Right. You seem really hammered right now.
You seem pretty drunk. So he's telling me I don't drink. He's like, but I smoke a lot of weed, and I was like, okay, same. And I was like, and he's like, you ever need weed or anything? You want my number? And I said, sure, yeah, okay, yeah, Artis, I'll take your number. So Artis gives me his fucking phone. Now, this is why he's a bad thief. I gave him my phone. I was like, you just put it in my phone. We had built a level of trust, whether it was real or fake. We had built a level of trust.
Yeah.
Whether, trust among thieves, if that's a thing, right? You know what I mean? Honor among thieves. So I give him my phone. He puts it into my phone, right? And then gives the phone back to me. He could have easily just taken my $1,200 phone and run the fuck off, right?
Yeah.
Didn't do that. Handed it back. He's like, hey.
Now you built a little bit of trust.
A little bit. And he's like, hey. I was like, well, man, I gotta get back inside. Gotta do a little studying. Got classes in the morning. And he's like, hey. Good talking to you, brother. I appreciate you. And he gives me this big, gives me the slap and the big hug. And I was like, okay. And I went back inside. And I locked that fucking door and I shut those fucking blinds. And the 2 hours of this, and I fucking turn off all the lights and I text my roommates. I was like, weirdest thing just happened, And I thought that was the end of it.
Yep. Ortiz came back.
Artis. I have his cell phone number, and I texted him like in between this time. I was like, "Hey, good talking to you, man." Like immediately after he left.
Yeah.
I was like, "Good talking to you, man." So I text my roommates, let them know what's going on. I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of weird, nothing to worry about." I was like, I handled it. Don't worry, everybody. I fucking
seems like an innocent guy.
I handled it. See, he was a nice guy. He had a rough childhood, Yeah. I'm such a fucking give the guy the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Or I was up until this point in my life. So about 15, 20 minutes later, I hear Artis outside. Maybe 20, half an hour later. And at this point, I was like, finally, it's over. 30 minutes, like just enough time for me to get comfortable. And then I hear him outside. He's like, hey, I hear him yelling. Hey, he's yelling at my neighbors. Is my boy Cole home? Hey.
Oh, no.
Hey, my boy Cole home? I left something here. And I'm like, oh. And I'm sitting back on the couch where I was when all this started.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that window that he came in was a foot away from my head right here, right? So I hear my neighbors like saying whatever. I didn't hear what they said because I'm like, I'm still playing video games.
Yeah, you don't want to be there at this point. You're like,
I have all the lights off. I have all the lights off except for the red traffic light, right? So this is like a scene out of a movie. My living room is just lit up in this red glow, this blood red glow.
Right now.
Right. Yeah. No. Well. Yeah. Just. But that's all there was just this red glow, and it was a real traffic light, so it was super fucking bright.
Right.
And I had all the blinds drawn, but I'm sure you could see the red light just shooting out onto the walkway. Now along the walkway,
it's like a whorehouse.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, the red light district for a reason, right? So along the walkway, there was a stone wall, and it was an old stone wall. It was like the 19-teens is when that stone wall was built right next to our house, going up this hill. And the stones were loose, and they were very big. So I didn't hear Artis for another 2 or 3 minutes. It might have been 15 seconds, but it felt like an hour. Mm-hmm. But I didn't hear him after he's yelling at my neighbors. And the next thing I know, I'm sitting on the couch, kind of just waiting for things to cool off before I move or make any noises. And the next thing I know, a rock about the size of my face comes through that window, hits me in the side of the forehead. Splits my head open, rains glass down on me, and in one motion, I think this is Knives, right? This is a knife channel, so you'll like the way the story ends. So I had this big, I think I still have it. I have this big, ridiculous MTech Tonto fixed blade that's like this fucking long. It had
to be an MTech.
It had to be. Like, poor college kid in the fucking hood.
Yeah.
It had to be. It had to be an MTech.
Yeah.
And it was dull as fuck, but it was big and scary, right? And that was the point. And I kept it in the drawer in the coffee table right in front of me. So this rock comes in, hits me in the head. I spin around. I fall off the couch, grab the big fixed blade out, and I say, "What the fuck?" And I jump towards the towards the window. And I shit you not, when I do that, Artis is like hung all the way in my window already, and he's like, "Oh shit!" and runs out. Like he was all the way in my window, and I come at him. I just yell, "Oh, what the fuck, man!" And he said, and I just see his face, and he disappears, dude. And I never saw him again.
Did he get anything when he leaned in?
No, there was nothing to grab. He just broke a fucking window, and I chased him off with a big shitty M-Tech. But so I guess I didn't get robbed, but I got hit in the head with a really big rock.
Yeah, attempt a robbery.
The best part of the story is when I called the police.
They came there and said, "Hey, man, where'd you get that street light?"
Yeah, well, the street light was off when the cops showed up. They weren't worried about that. So I called my. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, right. Seriously, that would have injury to insult, right? So or insult to injury, I guess.
Yeah.
But the cops. I call the cops and I'm like, "Yeah, guy just tried to break into my house, but I have his cell phone number if that helps." That's what I told the 911 operator. Yeah, wait, I'll get to that, dude. Because the interaction with the police officers in this whole fucking
That's always the best part.
Russ Cagle knows M-Tech Grail. Yes, sir. That's a lifesaver, my dude. That's a life-saving weapon.
Keep that one.
It's a keeper. I will never get rid of it. It literally that saved my life. It's big and scary. But so I call the police. They don't show up for like 2 fucking hours.
Of course.
And my roommates showed up in about an hour. After I told him, like, a dude just threw a big rock through our window and ran away. I chased him off with a knife. And they were like, "Funny joke, man." And like, whatever. And I was like, no, that really happened. I sent him a picture. Like, there was a perfect outline of my ass and crotch in the couch made out of glass. Yeah. From the glass, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so cop finally shows up. Big, fucking like 6'6", big fucking built black dude, Cincinnati cop, born and raised, baby, here to serve and fucking protect. He was ready to fuck shit up, and he strolled up the fucking stairs, and up the saw there was a stone missing. He goes, "Well, what happened here? Somebody throw a rock to your window?" And I was like, "Yeah, somebody threw a fucking rock to my window." I'm sitting on the porch chain smoking, right, with like a big knife in my lap when the cop shows up. I have like 6 empty beer cans and a big fucking M-Tech, and I'm just like a pile of cigarette butts. Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh God," and full adrenaline panic mode. And the cop's like, "All right, walk me through what happened." So I told him what I just told you. And he goes, "So you have his number?" And I was like, yeah, he gave me his cell phone number, before he left the first time. And he's like, "Well, can I have it?" And I was like, yeah, here's his cell phone. And I wrote it down on the police report. I was like, "Artis, here's 513. Here's Artis." Yeah, and he's like, "Dude," and he was like, this is gonna be the easiest thing in the world to solve. This big fucking cop's like, "This is gonna be too fucking easy, dude." So the cop's like gets towards the end of everything, and he goes, "Listen, the next time somebody comes, sorry, let me do the voice. Hey, next time somebody comes knocking on your window, telling you the whole life story, giving you the phone number for drugs, I tell you what, you just call me. Here's my card. You just call me first. And I'll come and I'll, I don't know, I'll beat the shit out of them or something." I shit you not, word for word. That's what he said. He said, "I'll beat the shit out of them or something." And I was like, "It's good enough for me, officer. Yeah. Thank you for your service.
Thanks for serving and protecting."
Thanks for serving. So he leaves and he comes back 5 minutes later. The cop comes back. He goes, "Oh, shit. Well, I got the guy that tried to rob you. I got his phone number, but I never got your phone number." And I was like, okay.
That makes sense.
Let me fill that spot in. Yeah, Jesus.
Fucking but yeah, that was MacGyver over here.
Yeah, big fucking buff ass genius. But yeah, that was the story of me almost getting robbed.
Well, before the burn story, I'm gonna add to that one really quick because I got one kind of similar, but it's really quick though. So and it wasn't to me, it was to my sister. So my sister's living in this neighborhood.
Oh, I kept the rock too. I still have the rock.
Did you?
Yeah, I still have the rock that fucking split my.
How big was it?
I mean, it was.
Oh, it was a big one.
I'm this thick. It was a stone wall. It's 100-year-old stone wall.
Right.
Big piece of slate and like this fucking big. I kept it. It did not feel good. But anyway, go ahead.
So my sister, she's living in a neighborhood. It's not the best neighborhood. And her and her new husband, and she's got at the time 2 children. She has 3 now. But or maybe she
God
did. No,
bless her.
she did have the 3. She did have the 3. Sorry. Because the third one was
God
a
bless
baby.
her either way.
Right. So she's in this neighborhood, and all of a sudden she hears and this is a tiny, tiny house, like a very, very small house. She hears the window get slit up, and you can get
I
those
know that sound.
stoppers. You can
I
get
know
those
that sound.
stoppers for the window that
Yeah.
make where you can only open it like this far, right?
Yep.
So
Little click out.
she hears it slide up, and then she hears wham,
Click.
wham,
Yep.
wham.
Yep.
And he's trying to break the things, right? So she walks in the room, and he's trying to squeeze himself through this little tiny gap. Well, she's got her daughter wrapped around her leg, right? And
Damn,
she
3 kids
screams
too.
at him.
Fuck
Right?
me. Fuck me.
She screams at him. So he pulls back out and takes off running. Well, the reason why he wound up doing that was a couple reasons. One, there was no car in the driveway. Her husband had the car, so it looked like an empty house. He thought it was an empty house.
Ooh.
That was one thing. Well, when she calls me and well, she calls the cops, then me, right?
Right.
And I'm on the road already. I'm in my car. I have my fucking big ass dog with me. And I get there before the cops. Before the cops show up.
Oh,
And I'm
always.
way farther away than the cops. That's why I always tell people cops are not for your protection. They're there to investigate the crime that was already
Afterwards,
Right.
dude. Right.
You
My
are
story will prove that shit. My roommate showed up
you're the
an hour and a half
first line of
before them.
defense. Right. You're the first line of defense.
Yep.
So I show up, and I'm talking to my sister, and I'm like, where's your gun? All right. And she shows me, she tells me it happens to be in the closet next to the window he's trying to get into. And I'm like, well, okay, what the fuck, first of all, right? And it's like, so he was coming in, and he's literally in between you and the firearm. Like, this is the way you like. It never happens the way you envision it, but
Never.
my
Never.
point to this, it's like, it doesn't do you any good. Now, I understood that to a point. Then I said, and she hands it to me. I'm like, where the fuck are the bullets for it? And she's like, oh, well, they're over here, and it's not loaded anything, and I'm just going
Bullets are
off
like
at
in
him.
another room, right? Yeah.
Right. And it pissed me off. Like, it really made me upset. And she's like, well, I have the kids in the house and this and that. I was like, yeah, so what? It's still your responsibility if you're going to be a firearm owner to be responsible of it and be able to use it, because
Use it when you need it. Right. Yep.
What is the point? Why do you have it? If it's impossible to use, why do you have it? And then I went as far as, because at this point she had one, but I hadn't really trained her with it or anything yet. And I was upset at myself for that. But I told her, I said, what would you have done if you did get to it? Right? Like, you would have aimed it at, like, that would have probably been the most dangerous thing, because he would have gotten it from you. And because somebody, my point was, if he made it all the way through, right? If he made it all the way through the window, he would have been standing there with his life being threatened by a gun. And that type of situation, he would have killed her.
Fight or flight, man. Fight or flight. And in that situation,
not a doubt in my mind.
If he's got the balls to get in the house, he's got the balls to.
He doesn't have a choice.
Follow through. Yeah.
He doesn't have a choice. You got a gun on him. He's either looking at prison or death.
Yep.
He has no choice but to take you out. So he's gonna. And the fact that you couldn't have had it loaded, you would have died. The fact that, just whatever, like, you would have been scared, you'd have been shaken, blah, 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 blah. That's why it's like, in that scenario, just start popping. Anyways, but
start popping.
Right. But anyway, so the cops show up. I'm there, right? I'm there.
Yeah.
And she's talking to the cops, and the cop goes to simulate what the guy did, opens up the window. But remember, I wasn't there at the time. So when he goes to do it, my big ass bull mastiff is there. So he goes to do it, and my dog goes after him. And he fucking
fuck that.
And he goes, I'm guessing that dog wasn't here when he jumped in. She was like, no, my brother just got here, right? And he's like, yeah, because there's no way anybody's coming through that window with that fucking dog in the house,
Not at all. I wouldn't even get close to that fucking house.
Dude, she was massive, and she was
that.
in her prime at the time. Like, she was just big as hell. But yeah, scared the shit out of him. But yeah, that's basically the whole. Just the whole sliding through the window. Kind of reminded me of that story. I got a few stories of sliding through some windows. But now, what about your burn story? Let's hear that one, because I got one of those too.
Fucking bull mastiffs, man. What a fucking demon. So this one's story's not as exciting. This is more a story of me being a fucking dipshit. So my best friend was getting married in October of 2019, and I hosted. I was the best man. I'm kind of okay at talking, so clearly. So I fucking right. 2%. 2%. Keep the caps blue, my dude. Keep the blue cap rolling, big boy.
We only got a couple more stories, and we're all out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. So, there's 102 people in here. Thank you guys for joining us.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Continue, Tri-State.
So I hosted the bachelor party. My parents have a vacation house down along the banks of the Ohio River, way outside of the city, where it's nice and clean. It's heaven on earth. It really is gorgeous. And, across the river, the rolling hills of Kentucky. It's a very picturesque place. So about 9 a.m., we start drinking on a Saturday. And as most good burn stories start, 9 a.m., you start drinking, right? Yeah. Nobody burns themselves sober. That's not how it works. That's not how the system... Well, okay. Sorry, I spoke too soon.
Keep going. Don't say that part yet.
I take it back. So anyway, for me, I don't burn myself unless I'm start drinking at 9 a.m. So I start drinking at 9 a.m. We start with bourbon, and it was probably, I don't know. I drink cocktails, but if I had to put a number on it, 30 ounces or 40 ounces. So like 20 double shot cocktails over the course of the day, starting at 9 a.m. And then we switched to beer. And I probably had, 15 beers on top of that. And I'm a little guy. I weigh 125 pounds. That much alcohol is enough to put me down. But I'm fine. I would have been fine. But then there's always and then in stories like this. And then my friend Antonio said, "Oh, well, I just rolled this blunt." And I said, "Oh, great. I'm down for that," in my drunken stupor. And that was put me over the edge, I guess. So I, 1 or 2 hits of that after all that booze over the course of a 12-hour day, in the blazing hot fucking sun, not drinking water, not eating. I was like, I was done for, just done for. So I sit down next to the fire, nice, cozy little fire, and nestled up, and I fell asleep. And that, I just fell asleep. Well, I woke up, I don't know how much later, but I woke up in it. I woke up in the fire. My whole side of my body, I was just like laying cuddled up in an open fire pit, which was just roaring all around me, an open fire pit.
I will go to comments right after this, ladies and gentlemen.
And I kind of pulled myself out of it somehow. I don't remember. I really didn't wake up yet. That's how messed up I was. I woke up in the fire and didn't panic. That's how fucked up I was. I was like, this is fine. I literally was the dog in the memes where he's literally like sitting in the office building and the whole office building's on fire. And he's like, this is fine. And he drinks his coffee. That was me. I was laying in an open fire pit. I said, this is okay. And I pulled myself out of it after God knows how long and kind of wobbled over to the house. And I didn't really wake up or like become conscious until I looked at my arm in the mirror, and I just saw, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, oh God, oh Jesus, it's happening again. But you can kind of see this arm's a little fucked up looking. There you go. You can see one right here and one that goes up there. You see that one up top? Anyway, I look like a grilled fucking hot dog, if you can see it. Because I was really tan. This was the end of the summer. I'd been at the river all weekend. So I was really tan, and I just had these big 3 black scorch marks going up my arm, and I had big pieces of skin falling off of my arm.
Yeah.
And that's when I woke up, is when I saw myself in the mirror, and I was like, oh, and I just started screaming. I just remember screaming as loud as I could. I couldn't feel it. And I found out later is because 3rd-degree burns, there's so much nerve damage that you don't feel it. You don't feel anything, even though there's like significant horrible tissue damage. And my parents were piss drunk. They were down there with us, but they were drunk at a friend's house. So my parents are piss drunk. All of my friends are piss drunk. The nearest hospital is a 2-hour drive. Yeah, the nearest hospital, all of them hammered.
All of them are fucking drunk.
Yeah, so everybody is just obliterated out of their mind. And then I come out, my friend Ben, God bless him, dude, he was the first one that found me. And I apparently still drunk. I was just like walking around the outside of the house like this, and I was like, oh God, oh help, oh. And he's like, dude, it was like a fucking mummy movie. You were just out there with like shit hanging off of your arm.
You don't want to bend your arms.
And you were just doing this, and you were going, oh God, oh. So that's how they found me. Somebody eventually found my parents, who were obliterated. And again, the nearest hospital, 2-hour drive. Yikes. And it would have taken it's like midnight, 12:30. That's how quick I got fucked up. It's only like midnight at this point. So like an ambulance would have been a 3 hours in, 3 hours out kind of situation. It would have been like 4, 5, 6 in the morning by the time I got to hospital. So my mom's like, pounds of water, throws me in the truck. Here I am, her 27-year-old son, 28-year-old son, and she's like, God damn it, splashes water on her face, sobers up real quick,
can't even get fucking drunk.
Gets in the truck. Yeah. I can't even get fucking drunk around here. You're supposed to be a grown ass man. God damn it. Yeah. And fucking, I shit you not, she didn't do less than 100 the whole fucking way to the hospital. She just the whole way there. We get there, and they make us wait. Like my arms like peeling, and it's like bleeding and blistering, and there's big pieces of skin hanging off. And I'm sitting there in the waiting room, and they make us wait for 2.5 hours. Like I'm sitting there just like, the whole time. And finally they let us in. What did they do in the ER? All they fucking did. This is a lesson to be learned. Fuck the American medical system. It's a fucking sham. All they fucking did, they brought me in. They said, wow, yikes. And they said, that's pretty bad, buddy. What'd you do? I said, I fell asleep in a fire. Ha ha ha. I'm pissed drunk. Hammered, right? They say, all right, well, we'll take care of you. They load me up on enough morphine to put down a fucking full-grown elephant on top of all the alcohol I've had. I told them I'd been drinking all day. They're like, hit him with all the morphine we got. Yeah. Just load me the fuck up with morphine. And they're like,
they killed someone I know like that.
Yeah, and they're like, here, and I'm a tiny dude. Yeah, I'm a tiny dude. And then they load me up on opiates. They're like, here's a 30-day supply of oxys. You're gonna need them. And I was like, but I don't feel anything. And they're like,
yeah, not right now you don't.
They're like, they're like, your nerves are cooked, dude. Like when those nerve endings start to heal back together, you are going to be begging us for these pills.
Right.
So I was like, okay. They charged me $6,000 for that. Fuck the medical industry. It's a nightmare. Yeah, $6,000. And that's with insurance, ladies and gentlemen. I have really fucking good insurance. For 2 shots of morphine and a 30-day supply of, that's all they did at the ER. That's it. They didn't do anything else. They wrapped they put a Band-Aid on it and kissed it, and then gave me a bunch of drugs.
Yeah, we do need to have some discussions on how to make our medical system a little bit better.
It's a nightmare.
You like that anybody can walk into the ER at any time, homeless or not, and you won't be pushed away.
Which is great. They'll hit you with some money. They want your money afterwards.
Well, X-ray shouldn't be $1,500. Like, what are we talking about? Like, it's a piece of paper and an X-ray. Like, there are things, but it's, in my opinion, I think it's because of the system we have, they've made it to where they can charge insurance companies
as much as they want
of money, right?
Yeah.
Instead of it being like where they are competing against each other, trying to bring us the cheapest services and best services possible, like you would see, like say in the knife community, right? Like.
Right.
Everybody's trying to beat each other. But anyway, sorry, keep going.
Anyway, after that, they were like, well, we're going to recommend you to a specialist. They charged me $300 just to give me a phone number, by the way. That was on the medical report.
Yeah.
$300 just to get a phone number to somebody that could actually help after they put a Band-Aid on my fucking arm that was completely gone.
Yeah.
And so I had to go to the UC Health, back to college. Had to go to UC Health, right? This ties into my last story. One of my old neighbors was actually my nurse at UC Health when I was there, but I had to go to the burn and facial reconstruction ward
Oh shit!
at
Did you
UC
get
Health.
skin grafts?
I did not. I got really lucky.
Good,
I
good,
thought
good.
I did when they were like, "Yeah, you got to go to the reconstruction center," and I was like, "Oh, great!
I know
thanks,
what that
doc."
means. You're taking skin off my ass.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I have a beautiful ass, and you won't touch it. God damn it!
Right.
It's, my wife will kill us. Yeah. So I get there, and one of my old roommates, who I actually like went to immediately after I got robbed when I was in college, or after Artis tried to get into the house.
Yeah.
She was one of the nurses at the she was the one that bandaged me, but I had to keep going back. Yeah, she was one of my neighbors when I got robbed, which killed me. Small world. But she wrapped me up and put this crazy thing on it. It was basically like a giant fucking tampon to soak up all the pus and shit that was coming off my arm. But I had to go in there once a week for 9 weeks, and it was $2,000 a visit. And so you do the math on that. So the whole thing, one night of drinking too much cost me, I don't know, 30 grand.
Damn. That's
with good health insurance. I think that like health insurance covered $118,000.
Fuck, man.
Off of third-degree burns. Isn't that crazy?
Well,
but yeah, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend burning yourself.
My dad got hit by a backhoe. He he wound up paralyzed after and crushed his spine in 21 places.
Can't even imagine that the medical bills involved. I can't even imagine.
It was like over $1 million. Just with the and this is just one part. I'm not with all of it. It was millions, but from the flight for life, getting there, being in ICU and everything, like the first week was over $1 million. Like just crazy. But I got a quick little burn story. It was actually when I was working for Breeze. My cousin that's in the comments, and this is really, really, really short. And then we're gonna go through the comments and have a little discussion. But I was power washing big concrete trucks and dump trucks and shit like that from the concrete and everything, putting acid on them, and getting the concrete that's just caked to them. Well, anyways, the power washer I had going all day, like all fucking
pressure
day.
washing, but it fucks up your hands
after
a few hours.
But the exhaust on it was like red hot. I just shut it off. The hose to it was right next to the exhaust. So I'm going to take off the hose, and it's the end of the day. Like I'm beat up, I'm tired. My skin is like just hurt.
Dude, you're just ready for bed. Yep.
Right. I'm taking off the hose, and my forearm just touches it. My skin goes gone.
Yep.
Like, just gone. I'm like, And, I have a big scar right here. That's a different story, but it was right under my tattoo. I got the tattoo actually to cover it. Because what happened was the next day, actually for the rest of the week, I came back to work. I did not stop. So I bandaged it myself, never went to the hospital or anything.
Yeah.
Gone. It's just a giant hole.
Yeah.
Since I'm
bright red and black.
It gets infected.
Yeah. That's right. All the pus, dude.
Blue and green and nasty as hell. My Aunt Dawn was like, "Let me look at that." Right?
Yeah, burns are bad, dude. Burns are bad. They get infected like that.
When I got the tattoo done, I actually had to go through 2 different sessions of the area with the scar because scar tissue doesn't hold tattoo well. So they did it a couple times. It looks fine now, and you can't see it really. It's just a little discoloration, but for like 2 years, like it was it looked like a warped piece of arm. I have another scar right on my wrist. You guys probably see it right there. That I got an infection in my wrist, and it was like the size of a softball. Literally. I mean, it was like this big, but it did it like within a couple days. Like it hurt, it was red, it was swollen.
That's from an infection?
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything about it.
Jesus
Christ. And so it's called I can't think of the name of it, but it's an infection under the skin, and eventually it'll go to your bloodstream. If it goes to your bloodstream, it'll kill you.
You're fucked, yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was my forearm just out of nowhere within like a day just started swelling up. And then next thing I know, it's so big, like I have to go to the emergency room. I don't have a choice. I can't even move my hand. It's so big.
Yeah. Your fingers aren't working, right?
I go, they rush me right into surgery right away. They're like, we might have to remove your arm. Like that's what they said.
Oh yeah, to stop it. Yeah, fuck that.
And so I went in and I wound up going to emergency surgery. Then afterwards, they wound up leaving a stitch inside my arm.
Ooh,
And
that's always fun. That's always a
well,
good time.
I didn't know I had a bump there forever because it literally
Yeah.
afterwards, it was
What is this? What is
well,
this?
there was a hole in my arm like this big that went all the way down to the bone for like 2 weeks. I had to
Yeah.
stuff it myself.
Oh,
I
they
had to
had
pack
to scoop you out. They had to scoop you out good, didn't they?
Yeah, luckily I had
Yeesh.
did medical shit for my dad for years, doing bed sores and all different types of injuries.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Yep,
name it, I've
yep.
done it with my dad. Like, so this was nothing to me. Like, this was
Yep.
something I did daily for my dad, even though it was a big hole in my arm and I could see everything inside. So I'm stuffing it and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Finally closes up. Well, then a bump starts occurring, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I just thought,
That
it's
wasn't there
scar
before.
tissue. Scar tissue, right? Scar tissue.
Yeah. Scar
And it
tissue's
just
weird.
keeps getting bigger. It's annoying. I had it for like 2-3 years, maybe even longer. I had it for a couple years. Next thing I know, a little wire.
Oh, they left a pair of pliers in there. Holy
Right.
shit.
Scalpel.
Oh,
yeah,
holy shit. Yeah.
I see this wire coming out, and I'm like, it's a fucking stitch.
Yeah.
So I go back there. They're like, oh, well, we can't do anything. They tried to send me down to downtown. And I'm like, I'm not going to downtown Chicago to get a damn stitch removed. Just fucking remove it right here. They wouldn't touch it. So I went back home and got one of my old pieces and I cut that motherfucker out myself. Fuck that shit. I ain't paying $2,000 for you to cut out.
Right.
They were afraid because of where it was. It was wrapped around some nerves, and it was deep. Don't get me wrong. It was deep. Like, it had embedded in, like, it was like a knot around a piece of meat. It was a bitch. Like, I thought I was just going to be able to go and pull it out.
Oh, no.
It was a lot more
because everything, it heals up to it, and all the tendrils kind of wrap themselves around it.
Yes.
Yeah. Foreign bodies, foreign objects in the body just are not, they're not good. They're not good.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's actually where it came from, was from being stabbed with a foreign object. And I wound up getting an infection from getting stabbed with a foreign
Isn't that
object.
fucking wild, dude? I poke myself all the time. Was it tetanus? What the fuck was it?
No,
Staph?
I can't think.
Staph?
What's this skin infection called?
Call the wife.
That
Somebody call the wife.
infection I had on my wrist. What's it called? Cellulitis?
I would Google it, but I'll probably vomit.
Yeah, it's just a skin infection. It looks red and it swells up, and if you don't get to it fast enough, it'll go into your bloodstream. Once you get into your bloodstream, you're pretty much fucked.
MRSA. Q1. MRSA.
You're pretty much fucked.
You got that MRSA? That's like COVID-17, bro. We're not talking about that shit. Or 16.
I'm gonna go through some of these comments since we were chit-chatting, and we'll see
what's up, Dequa and Delam.
In Australia, we may have bad knife laws, but that would never happen here. Everyone has access to good medical. Well, we have access to it. The issue is they charge you quite literally an arm and a leg for it. Right. So we have, like, nobody dies on the streets usually. Like, and this is the thing, is that we do have Medicare. Like, anybody can be on Medicare as long as you make under a certain amount of money. So if you're poor, you can get on Medicare. If you make under $12,000 a year, you can be on Medicare.
If you're poor but not super poor, you're fucked. The middle class are fucked in our system.
Middle class, right?
We're all dicked.
If you're poor, you have free insurance. If you're making over a certain amount to where
then you pay for it and it doesn't do you any good.
Right.
That's what happens.
Exactly.
Oh, it's bullshit.
And then it's like, how are you paying off that debt? So that's what seems logical.
I said one step at a time was my response to that. So I was able to get a lot of it kind of forgiven. You know, if you call tip, if you call them and you go through the detailed, like the list, right? And you say, what the fuck is this? What, like, the administration fees?
I've done that.
There is a $2.7 billion lawsuit against Blue Cross Blue Shield right now for this kind of stuff, for overbilling. Yep. And I'm involved in it because of this incident.
They're going to throw stuff in just to see if you'll pay it.
Yeah. And guess what? Most of it's a small thing. If it's like $1,000 and it just is a small fee but those small fees add up, especially when you're like me with this, it was a dozen visits. So every visit, they could just throw something else in, But anyway, called them after all the final billing was in. And I said, what is all this shit? Like, what do I really have to pay? And with medical bills, you can just not pay it. It'll never hit your credit report, by the way.
I think now certain things do. I'm not sure exactly how it goes. I have to look into it, but I did hear that, like, Obamacare fucked that up, but I'm not positive though. I know
if you have like employer, like insurance, like me, like from a big brand, if you have that kind of insurance, like can't. It goes to HIPAA laws. You can't be. It can't hit your credit history. It can't dock your credit score.
Right.
It becomes its
Well,
own
that's always
kind
a
of
good
debt.
thing because that's why
Yes.
people just run that shit.
It's like
up. I
student
know I
loans.
have.
It runs into like student loans. If you fall behind, student loans they'll pile up, but they're not going to adversely affect your credit score. The only thing that's really hurting your credit score is high interest credit cards, high interest loans.
Cards, yeah.
That's all that's
Cars,
touching your
houses, things like that.
I'm an insurance agent. I know these things.
Oh, okay. So no medical shit really hurts your
It can't. It's been. I mean, that's been 3 years. It's not paid off, and I mean, it hasn't.
Well, I know I've called up, like you said, I've called up and literally like.
But anyway, I got the 24K is what they wanted. I got it tucked down to like 7,000 or 8,000.
Yeah, I've gotten.
That's how much extra shit they charge you. So don't ever just fucking pay it, even if it's a few $100. Don't ever just pay it. Call them.
I've gotten like $3,000 just literally thrown out of an entire bill because I freaked out because they charged me so much for something that when they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. Next thing I know, I'm getting this bill, and it's like you didn't do anything. Like, what am I being charged? And I start threatening to sue. They just forgave it. That Russ loves dogs. Mine is in training for scent detection. Always say dogs are the world's best antidepressant. I agree.
Cats are too, and you don't have to feed them as much.
Saline costs like $200, which literally most readily available resources.
Yep, saline solution. Yep.
Yep.
In the hospital, they will charge you to fucking. They're basically charging you for water and salt. $200.
Yeah, when they first started doing the bottled waters, which I think was a good idea, but I was so mad. I walked into a gas station. I started seeing bottled water everywhere. I said, so when the fuck did they start charging us for water?
This bullshit.
What's in the air's next? Are they going to start charging? I said, I'll never buy a bottle of water. I fucking buy them all the time.
I just imagine that scene from I know, yeah, right. But that scene from Spaceballs when he has the canned air and he's like cracks it open and sniffs it out of his desk. That's what I was thinking about.
Exactly. I was tattooing over a scar for a guy. When I hit the scar, it instantly filled with ink.
I saw that. Isn't that crazy?
Turned black. No
yikes!
Shit.
That must tattoo job.
Man, that's crazy. I got lucky. Because mine, I don't know, maybe because of the type of scar it was. I'm not sure, but I guess I got lucky. But it did what mine did was it was blotchy. It wasn't like clean lines. Like and he said that was going to happen. He literally said you're going to have to come back in like a month or two and get that area touched up. And he was right. Like it didn't look nowhere near like the other side. It feels so weird getting a tattoo over scar tissue. Yes, it does.
Well, mine looks like a hot dog.
I get like my freedom. Fuck yeah.
I don't know what I should do with mine.
I agree with that. I 100% agree, Brandon. We can talk about the medical shit any day of the week, but as long as it ain't affecting our freedom, because I'd way rather be free than give me liberty or give me death, because I'd way rather have freedom than I know
Lasha, speaking my language. Yes, I have. Lasha.
I think
Brass Brigade was in here.
Big discussions about that, but I took a Puno. I don't know what that is. Surgeon Jared. Yes, I've done lots of surgeries, guys. I'm not a surgeon, but I've done lots of surgeries.
It's not Surgeon Jared. It's Surgeon Jared.
Yes. And I tell you what, man, I could tell you guys some fucking nasty stories.
I don't want to hear them. I almost threw up doing Ray's podcast last night. He was showing me some nasty pimple popper shit, and I almost threw up on his podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Can't do it. I can't do it, man.
Spaceballs, flamethrowers, kids love this one. I don't know what that is.
It's the scene from the movie. He's like, kids love this one. Yeah.
Have you seen the SG Knives gripper?
That's the Brass Brigade's knife I was telling you about.
Okay, that is the blast. Is it smaller?
So the prototype that SG Knives did is a 3-inch blade, but the production model will be 3.5-inch. It'll be full size knife.
Nice. I'm gonna check.
Yeah, but it's a big warning, dude. I can't wait. I think he's sending me the prototype.
Find it on Google, can you?
No, I'll send you. I'll send you the link.
I'll send you the link. All right, you gotta go on Instagram. I'm sure it was one of those puffy, shiny scars. I never tattoo another. Yeah, I was gonna say. I wonder if it was like one of those.
All of my scars. All of mine are puffy and shiny.
Go down.
Just like my ass, puffy and shiny. Sorry.
Doc billed my insurance $300 for a piss test. Yeah, that's like okay. So like when I don't have like I have a little bit of insurance right now, but not a lot. But a lot of times I go into places and I will literally get everything cut in half. Like I can go to the dentist, I'll find a dentist and tell them I don't have insurance, and if they won't give it to me,
dude, they'll cut you a deal if you pay cash. They'll cut you an insane deal.
Yep.
They prefer.
Insane
A
deal.
lot of them
50%.
prefer. Yep.
Yeah, it'll go from say $600 to $300 like that. You just got to talk to them. If you go in there and just say, "Oh, this is how much it is," and pay it. No, you go in there and tell them like, "Listen, I don't have insurance.
I don't have money,
and we work something out."
I have nothing.
As
long as they're getting something, they're happy.
Yeah, well, a lot of them like if you go to the same places, like this is where you got to be, I guess, in a community, right? If you're involved in a community, in your community, like I have a dentist right now, he allowed me to make payments, and he doesn't allow people to make payments on a very, very large bill because he felt that I was,
good for
one reliable doing it right, good for it. So what I did was I made a couple payments right away to make him know I'm good for it, and then I made sure I did not miss a payment, and and it worked out. Now I think that like if I need something emergency done, like an emergency done, I can actually ask him because he knows I'm good for it. All right, let's see here.
Yeah, I just shared. That's the SG gripper.
Oh yeah. No, I have seen this. I'm hoping. Baby. Yes, I have seen this. I've actually been talking with him about this.
Super
knife.
nice dude.
Is amazing.
Super nice dude.
I'm such.
This is the tattoo artist I was telling you about. Yeah.
I'm such an idiot that I didn't put it together because I have been talking to him, and I'm hoping that when he does get it, to get the prototype. So I have been working with.
So the prototype's coming to me. The prototype's coming to me first.
Well,
it's on its way. Sorry, man.
No.
But I'm gonna pass it around to you and to Lefty and to some of the bigger channels.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then he's hoping to get the best tech prototypes in here in the next few months. And that I can't wait. I'm just so excited, dude.
Amazing.
This thing is just stunning. He's drew that on a fucking napkin.
We were talking about whether or not to do, because he was asking like maybe I shouldn't be talking about our private conversations, but we were talking about like flat grind or hollow grinds, and
same. Hollow. I told him hollow all the way. Sure. It's beautiful. It's that as is right there with that beautiful hollow grind. I was like, that is money, dude. That is it.
The satin finish will come out so much more with a hollow. Like, you know what I'm talking about when you see a grind and you see you can tell it's a hollow because of that satin finish. You can see like the wave.
It's one of the right there, like there it is, right there.
Here, let me pop this one out. Bam! Yes, exactly.
I mean, come on, or
can't go wrong.
I only have the Jumbo just because it's the same ridiculous hollow grind, just on a 4-inch blade. But I love it, dude. But that knife that he's doing literally takes like the blade off of Yojimbo, the handle off of Strider, the action off of like a Vero or like EMP EDC. It takes like all the best pieces of all these knives and smashes them together, and I'm all about it.
Yeah,
it screams to me. It screams to me.
A has saved my life twice for free, but it was a nightmare. I think anytime you're going to deal with anything medical, it's going to be a nightmare. It doesn't matter what
whether you're paying for it or not, it's a shit show, dude. It is a shit show.
I practically lived in ICU for a long time with my dad. It was, you guys can imagine. Almost killed me twice and kicked my vested service dog. Jim, thank you for the donation. Not much, but I want to contribute. Best live in chat. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it.
Zimbabwe, you're the man. Thank you, my dude. Yes, Zimbabwe. I love your name too, Zimbabwe. That's the coolest name. Zimbabwe.
Evo 2.0 has a crazy hologram. Yes, I agree.
Baby.
It does.
Yeah. I'll get a hologram. You know what? Brass Brigade let me borrow, and I'm going to buy this off of them. This is one he let me borrow. Was the Vero Axon?
Yeah.
I would love to see this with a nice deep hollow grind on it. Oh, man, would I ever?
I would too.
That blade is asking for a hollow grind. It's asking for it. And honestly, cutting performance, not that great. It's not mind-blowing.
Can you suggest a knife 3-inch utilitarian blade, very thin hollow grind, tap or front flipper with sway back or straight
Jesus
back?
Christ.
Man,
very
you got really
specific,
pointy
Lasha.
feet.
That's
well, that
very
sounds like the
specific.
swayback.
Yeah, but it's the swayback's huge. That's the issue. The Spyderco swayback.
What? How long is the blade? 3.5 on that?
Oh no, dude, this is a monster.
Is it?
Oh yeah. Have you ever handled this thing?
No.
It's huge. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, 3.5.
Well, then
3.5.
I'm going to say the Yojimbo then. 3 inches.
Yeah, the Yojimbo is there. It is size comparison. I mean, the swayback's a much longer knife.
If you want to get, you can do a penguin and send it to BGM and have them regrind a hollow grind on it for like $60.
Dude, if you want a good hollow grind utilitarian blade, right there, dude.
Yep,
right fucking
absolutely.
there. Yojimbo is the
Absolutely.
sliciest fucking thing in the world. It's insanely
Especially with a
insanely
hollow.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah,
Ergos are amazing.
There's a lot of great hollow grinds on there, but if you're talking
Watch
about,
my review of the Yojimbo, you'll fall in love with it, Lasha.
when I think of utilitarian, I think of sheep's foot
Yep.
or Warncliffe. That's the only thing I think of.
Yep.
So
100%.
you know, like there's a lot of knives that are great for utility, like that are different. Like even this isn't either one of those, but it is fucking fantastic for utility use. But
you know what that reminds me of is what is that? Is that a Kubi?
Yeah, buddy.
It reminds me a lot of the Mantra.
Yeah.
The Mantra 3.
Very
much.
Man, the reverse flicking action is absolutely epic on this thing. It's
just one of those awkward Spyderco flippers, but I love it.
Oh yeah. I know. I've tried it. It has a very light.
I love it. Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun time.
For sure. Oh, you know what? Why didn't I think of this? Why didn't I think about this? We both have it right now.
Oh my god, we're retarded.
You're so dumb.
The Hadros.
Yeah.
Get it. This is what you want, dude. Save your dollars. This is as utilitarian as it gets. Super slicey hollow grind.
Yep.
Great steel. Great action. It's not a front flip or anything, but it's got amazing action.
Amazing action. The only problem with it is these thumb stud, or not, sorry, the liner lock is a little tough to unlock, but
it's a little aggressive, but
you can do it. Like I can easily do it. I'm not saying I can't do it. Obviously I can do it, but it'd be nicer if you had a little bit better access. But to be honest, that's 10 minutes worth of work with a Dremel.
Yep.
Maybe 20.
Dig yourself out a little divot.
I did a review on the Yojimbo 2, fell in love with it unexpectedly because it is that good. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Dude, I have the giant one. I have the fucking giant. Look at this. Look at the different. Where's my fucking Jimbo? Look how big this fucking thing is.
Yeah,
it's large. I love this thing.
Man, I'll tell you what, I tried the carbon fiber regular Yojimbo 2, not the Yojumbo, the Yojimbo, and it felt so good. Like the
carbon fiber
action, the D10,
excuse me,
the weight, everything. Like I've tried both the G10 and the carbon fiber. The carbon fiber felt like a different knife. Like
so mine is blue dyed micarta that I put on there.
Oh, okay, nice.
And it feels good. Feels right. Feels right. It's one of my all-time favorite Spydercos. The Smock is a great one too with the hollow grind. If you want fidget-friendly action,
probably my favorite utilitarian. A lot of people use Tontos for utilitarian. Oh yeah, that's another good one. The Smock. I got one in the other room. Well, not mine, but Talent. Because Jared, I finally trained my jacked up hands to Spidey flick. I was so proud. That's awesome.
Way to go, Shane. Once you learn,
I can't show you guys that.
Once you learn,
that was an accident. You
didn't see anything. You didn't see anything. Once you learn, dude, you'll never stop Spidey flicking. You'll get knives that are not meant to be Spidey flicked, and you'll fucking figure out how to Spidey flick.
Yeah, you'll get really knives like this that don't Spidey flick at all.
Like this. Look, there's not even a slot for it, and you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. Doesn't matter.
Have you tried the TS277? I don't think so. I can't think of it at least. I might.
277. Why, dude?
I've tried so many of them. You know what?
It's impossible to keep track.
I noticed that they're starting. I don't know if they're going to do this on all of them, but I noticed on the brand new models, like 380 or like, I don't know, maybe 350 and up or 380 and up. I'm not sure. Have the number on it so you know. Like,
mine doesn't. My only one doesn't. And it would be a great option for him too.
I don't have any.
It's got this nice little warning, and it's a little sub 3 inch, and it's a front flipper, top flipper deal. You know,
I don't have any that do at the moment, but I have one coming that does.
I think this is the 229, 222, 222.
Great knives, man.
I don't fucking know.
True.
Too many.
That middle finger flick is legit. You know what? It's kind of weird. I was actually going to talk to you about movie knives, but we didn't get to it. But I've yet to have seen in a movie a Spidey flick.
Yeah, that's you know what?
You see battle songs and fucking autos and everything else, but no.
It's always OTFs. It's always OTFs in action movies because they are so dramatic, you know,
or a butterfly knife or a battle song.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like John Wick, it's always.
Can you imagine like how much it would get the people into the knife community if they actually did see a Spidey flick? You know, they would. See
I mean, it would be like.
I never seen
the close up on the hand, but you got to train an actor to be a knife nerd, I guess. I don't fucking know.
I don't think they take that long. They learn a lot of shit.
It's true.
But like if they
do their bodies,
quick Spidey flick, and then the bearings.
CPN dropping the knowledge, dude. Collateral's a great movie, but he thumb studs a Sabenza in Collateral. Tom Cruise does.
Yes.
That's that taxi movie with Jamie Foxx. Great movie.
Yeah. There was another one where it was a Spyderco. Man, what was it? I think it was an Endura, a stainless Endura, and he just slow rolled it. It was a backlock. Spirit Whiskey says topic actions. I do not enjoy drop shut actions. Controlled close, whether on bearings or washers, is preferred. How about you all? I like everything. And I was actually going to ask you this. What's your favorite action? So we're just going to have you on again so we can hit.
Yeah, I know, man. Okay. So there's for me, it's I'm with you. There's a lot of everything, right? I like that smooth, controlled, that kind of silky, but at the same time, like with this one, like I mean, but this is it's drop shut, but it's so smooth too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is. I know where the stopping point is. I know how to control it. Same with where's my fucking this guy? I mean, this is there it goes. This is a guillotine. The Chavez. This is a fucking guillotine, and it will eat your fucking fingers. But it's so controlled.
Yes.
The whole. I mean, it's just nonsense.
Right.
Goodbye, Mr. Finger. But I like a good drop shut action, but at the same time, I need a little bit of control. It can't just slam shut and take my finger off with it. But it comes with experience too for everybody out there. It comes with experience, like you learn where the safety spot is, where you can get your thumb out of the way and then let it drop. Right?
For sure.
Like, when you're starting, a guillotine will fuck you up, and it fucked me up for a long time before I figured out what I was doing.
I think that slow controlled, like hydraulic.
Like this is a true. I mean, this has custom smock bearings that Kevin made for me after I reviewed this knife. Kevin Smock made a set of custom bearings for me.
No shit.
To put in my Spyderco smock, and that's drop shut. That's a guillotine. But everything else I have
a lot of guillotines. I have tons of guillotines, but I like them all. I even like some of the ones that are literally not guillotines at all. That
a little shake shut. Like the Roxy. I haven't lubed it yet, but it just needs a little shake. It just needs a little love. Mm-hmm. And it's a big blade. It'll break in. A dab of lube on the pivot or on the detent, and she's good.
And I don't mind the ones where literally like they're not gonna close without a shake, like this one. It's not just gonna fall shut.
Yeah.
But
the Hadros
slow shakes.
Hadros needs a little. It'll literally stop right there. It'll stop. Look, not drop shut, but one little shake, and she's down.
Yeah.
So I like a little bit of everything.
And
I mean,
straight guillotines that you just drop.
Yeah, that's nonsense. Is that the little button lock from?
Concept.
Yeah. So this thing, you would imagine it's a crazy drop shut action because it's such a big heavy blade, but this is just super.
Is that the K2?
Silky smooth and controlled. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, it's so good. This is Brass Brigades as well. You let me borrow that.
This Cobra, this Tucson TS 190 Cobra.
Oh, it makes a good noise. Oh, that makes a great noise.
Such a nice noise.
Oh, mommy.
So nice. But yeah, I enjoy all actions, and I think that's some people like Lefty, right? I love Lefty, but
Great
I
dude.
think after a while you wind up changing like the certain things you like, but like he's on like where he wants all knives to have false shut action. He wants all knives to be guillotines. He wants them all to be just stupid smooth when there's so many different kinds of knives, and that's why I love all the different kinds of knives. Like if it
Right.
doesn't have guillotine action,
The
that is
point-
not a downfall to me. Sometimes
The
that's
point of the
a
channel
plus.
is to experience them all, right?
Well, there are
It's-
sometimes where literally a guillotine action makes it feel cheap sometimes,
Yep.
and the nice controlled smooth drop winds up feeling more expensive.
Right.
Depending on
And
the knife.
certain knives, I mean, if like this knife, the blade is so thin. This is the Rockwall again, tactile.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If this was a drop shut, it would feel cheap.
Yes.
Because it's so thin, but
So
it
light.
is rock fucking solid.
Right.
It is rock solid.
Yes.
And it drops and then it drops. That's all. 1, 2, 3. That's it.
Right. That's the way.
I don't need it to fucking swing shut and take my thumbnail off.
The action on my Fincher Fury makes
Fisher Fury. I never heard of
my
that.
pants, the cream in my pants.
Makes me cream my pants. Oh, I cream my pants.
This is getting too close to pornography. Well, we
Ooh.
got the porn director here, so it's okay. It's okay. We have a director here.
I'm a producer, director of pornography. Hence the mustache.
How much does it weigh? About
What?
that fucking much.
About this much. About this much.
Lefty will sacrifice blade play for drop shut. Shirogorov for life. That is one thing about the Shirogorovs is they have a nice controlled, kind of like this, where it doesn't just slam shut, but it's controlled all the way, but it drops the whole
I
time.
gotta tell you, this
I
is
love
that
it.
fucking Shodan Best Tech, man. And this
Yeah.
is an older Best Tech, but look at this. I mean, it's so
I heard
good.
that click too when it got to the end. That click.
Oh,
I wonder how this sounds.
I love it. I love Todd Knife and Tool. They do some crazy shit. Ooh, you want to talk about drop shut? What am I thinking?
Oh yeah.
Where's yours at, Jerry? This is the most drop shut knife in the universe. It's just stupid.
It's so heavy. It can't stop.
Yeah, dude. It's ridiculous.
My Hinder XM24 though, that thing it will, if your finger was in the way, it'd lop it off. Same thing like with the Demco 8020. Like if you hit that shark lock, that thing's coming down, Jack.
I love the shark lock. But what kills me about this is like it's so comically ridiculous, but it's so slicey. It's a great blade.
It's a beast.
It's a great blade. It
beast.
is insanely slicey. And the blade stock's like, what is that? Fucking like an eighth of an inch, quarter inch?
Oh man,
yeah.
it's
shit?
definitely thick. It's got to be like 170, 180,000.
200.
200?
Yeah.
Bang.
It's big as fuck. It's so big. But it's so slicey. It's so thin behind the edge. My review of this knife, all I talk about is like, how does this cut anything? I don't understand that.
Well, I think because it literally starts like you think the spine right here, right? Most knives,
but it's
right
so
here,
big.
It's
so
flat,
tall.
but it starts dropping right away.
Yeah.
So it's a full flat grind with a fuller. It's not it's not
and it's fucking, what is it, like 3 inches tall? It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
It's an inch and 3/4 tall. So
it has so much room to and these thumb studs are so massive.
I just love it. It's a joke to me, but I mean, look at the pocket clip, for fuck's sakes. Like, what the fuck?
It's something.
If I ever see anybody in public,
people want to buy it. People wind up ordering it.
And
thank you guys
for the money. For the money, like what are they? Like $80, $70?
They're cheap. They're cheap, and that's what
I'll buy another one.
So it's heavy. Like literally, when you open it,
you'll do more damage throwing it at someone. To be honest.
Yes, it is so heavy. So fucking heavy. By far the heaviest knife in my collection. Like even my.
I mean, this the brass Vero weighs 1 million pounds. This thing weighs 1 million pounds, but
that one's all brass too.
Yeah, I have a lot of brass knives for no reason, but it's not much. I mean, it's a pretty big fucking knife. It's so big.
I got even this the Asticus.
I've heard good things about that knife. I've never played around with one.
The liner's tight to get to, but this one's in.
That's most Civivi liner locks. That's most for me.
No,
they're always a little bit issue getting in there. The older ones I
think
didn't have
there's-
an issue with. It's the newer ones.
I
For me.
think it's, I don't know. I don't know about the newer ones. I know this Asticus and then the Hadros are the ones I have a problem with. Most of all the rest of them though have been good. Like I have a bunch of them, but the new ones are the ones I have an issue with, like the new
Yeah,
Sencut.
yeah.
This
That's
thing,
what I'm
man,
saying.
it's
The
so-
newer ones are the ones that have the problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why, out of nowhere, because they went from being the top of the lines, the best access to the lock bars, best sharpening choils, best this, best that, to all of a sudden they're like, we're gonna take those things away. Which they're shit in the bed. The riffle is great, absolutely. Oh, CPM, you gotta try out a Wii or a Civivi. Oh, you're silent.
Oh, wait. Hello?
Oh, he's ready to go. That's
Okay.
what that
Am
means.
I here? Is it here? Did it work? Did it work?
Yeah.
Did I fix it?
My heaviest is almost 10 ounces. That's what this is. It's like 10 something ounces.
This is?
Yeah. It's almost, I think it's almost 11 ounces.
It's 6 ounces shy of a fucking pound, dude. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
It's so damn heavy.
Oh, God.
Tri-State, man.
Yes.
I appreciate you coming and hanging
It's
out.
a blast, man. It's a blast.
Yeah, I'd definitely love to have you back on. I think,
Anytime, man. Just let me know.
Man, yeah, this was definitely fun, and I didn't even hardly even have to get to any questions at all. We just kind of ran with it. I love it when
rambled.
lives go that way.
Smooth,
ramble
baby.
along.
Buttery smooth.
Yeah, definitely had a great time. Hopefully we can have you on again soon.
I'll be here, brother.
All the people that donated, thank you so much. Everybody who showed up to hang out, everybody
Thank
who
you, thank
dropped
you, thank
a
you.
like, all the patrons, the moderators, thank you. Fiend, thank you for all the links. I appreciate everybody coming through. Everybody later on that winds up getting to this point in the video later that watches it, thank you for watching
you.
all the way to now.
Thank you.
It's crazy that you made it this far. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, good on you.
There's something wrong with you, by the way.
You're a
Let you guys know.
psychopath.
Yeah. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.